They got these offshore accounts.
Bush lost because of Ross Perot, not because of.
There's no that's not well, he lost because of, he could have lost because of Ross Perot because he raised taxes. What a dumb comment. First of all,
That was their
there's no
biggest.
proof that political scientists no longer believe that is necessarily the case because it's difficult to quantify the number of Democrat voters who went to Ross Perot. As
We've
we
got
see
them
now,
boxed
Democrats
in.
can peel off.
We become less open to
Again,
the possibility of a more complex story.
let's just go
And
back. So this is so fascinating to me. This is fascinating to me. Matt believes. See, this is why Miki, First Lady Patty, you guys don't understand. Let me explain the conservative mind to you. Someone like Matt. Matt believes that people like him are entitled to government services. People like his parents who have used, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on government services. He believes by virtue of who he is and their identity that they are entitled to those services. Other people should pay for those services, and other people should the same services. Matt's parents on Social Security, Medicare, he told us they were all very ill. They get far more than my parents do on those programs because my parents are healthy. He never, and in fact, he's used government services. That's because he believes he's entitled to them. So in the way the conservative mind works is they believe in a hierarchy and they believe that the government should provide services, but only for certain people. And other people should be the ones working and laboring and paying for those services. You guys keep going with him at logic. It's a conservative hierarchy logic. Matt ran around the app for a year acting like he was a libertarian when he was just a regular conservative the whole time. You understand that Matt believes his mammy and pappy millions of dollars in government benefits. Everybody else should pay for them, and it should not be rich white people. Then you'll understand. You going back and forth with him with these logical maneuvers. You know what? Go grind some coffee beans. You dirty wines last night, go dirty grind this morning because you're wasting your time talking to Matt. That's it. Now you chicken heads can cluck cluck about something else.
Oh,
Cluck, cluck.
I do have a final cluck cluck point for Matt. Matt, the 1% in America, and it's not really the 1%, it's the 1% of the 1%, but they're included in that. They own about 32 to 35% of the nation's wealth, right? And when we look at that, the top 1% own collectively $40 trillion in assets, but the bottom 50% of Americans only own about 2 to 3% of that wealth. And to me, that, you know, this goes so eloquently stated, your belief about privilege, which to me would indicate that you are in the 1% because you're not worried about the disproportionate amounts that lower income people pay to only own 2 to 3% of the wealth in this country, right? Yet they pay far more than that in their tax. Also, just wanted to point out the stock market, for example. The top 1% own about 50% of all stocks and mutual funds in the United States, which is an insane amount. That's also mostly white people. So, capital gains, if a lot of that is in 401ks and IRAs, that's deferred tax. They're not even paying that tax right now. That's deferred. But you're saying they pay more than enough because you're looking at the total number, irregardless of the amount of wealth that they control and the types of income, which is why there's such a disparity. Just FYI. Now, I could go further. I could go into real estate. I could go to business assets, all taxed differently, but go ahead and feel sorry for the 1%. That's all. We can cluck about something else. Whatever your source is, they're only giving you half the story. Just FYI. That was a free one for me. You're welcome.
Good morning, CEO. Did you want to comment?
Good morning. I just popped in. No, I don't think I've been in this room. I don't know anyone here. Was listening to the conversation with the gentleman Matt, and I just wanted to add a couple of points. Not the least of them being most of these conversations, from social media to news reports to Clubhouse and all around, um, we end up in these false dilemma binary discussions about conservative, whether conservative or liberal, high taxes versus low taxes, black versus white. I just want to challenge everybody to really, part of the issue is that we're always conflating and confusing the issues and talking ad nauseum about things that aren't really the main point. So, with regards to the taxes and 1% and who did what when and how to balance the budget and supply and demand and so forth and so on, as the first point, if I was to add a little bit, I'll just take 3 points to unpack. Um, at the end of the day, the population is generally confused about how all of these things work, in my humble opinion, right? So, if you really look at what's happened in the United States over the past few decades, we don't have to theorize what needs to happen for the budget to be balanced and there to be a surplus and a reduce in the national deficit, right? No matter what happens to the markets or the dollar value, or whatever. I hate to say this, but the democratic principles historically have left us in a position where we have a surplus and a balanced budget. And so the theory of conservatism is kind of BS because it's about financial constraints and, you know, resolve and figuring out how to save money, but it always ends up ballooning the deficit, right? And causing things to happen inflation wise. And that's not just over one or two presidential cycles. That's literally, if you do the research, over the past 30 to 40 years, if we really pay attention to what's happening. So the fact that, Donald Trump was able to convince people that the price of eggs was really the issue, but I think someone mentioned at what cost when we were talking about hyperinflation, right? Do you want to save eggs and then go to war? You want to pay, $4 instead of $8 for a carton of eggs, but the whole country's at war? Do you want to save, you know, 10 million on the team of people that help to monitor global disease and end up in a 2-year pandemic? So these issues just aren't discussed with the level of nuance and context that you know broadens the scope on what we're actually discussing. So that's one point. I think this the second point, if I could, is in terms of addressing one of the numerous things that are misunderstood is the black and white issue, right? What white people are doing, what black people are doing. I tell people all the time I'm a black man, but I'm pro anybody that advances humanity and advances my culture being a part of that humanity. And I'm against anybody that stands in the way to hate on or coddles with people who hate on my culture. So in the space of, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and whatever, it's irrefutable. It's not even a discussion. I don't even think people should be in these clubhouses litigating with idiots that try to say these people aren't anti-black, anti-brown, anti-woman, and everything else. So it's a non-starter for me. So you want to try to tell me that you're consumed with balancing the budget at the expense of people and rights, then you can shut the hell up. I'll stop there.
Well, it's nice to meet you, CO.
You also.
CO Brown. Um, yeah, that's all I got. Just did you finish fixing your makeup? What's going on?
No, I'm just saying he made points were made.
Got it. So, Patty, going back to what we were talking about earlier. So, um,
Looking at
the Social Security situation
what do you mean?
with make sure that Musk can't like do conferences, like take. Well, what was that clip about? You want to play the clip
Oh,
again?
they were saying that Republicans are saying they don't want him going to the media. I guess it's because causing problems back
But
in.
he owns Twitter. Like, so. I mean, this guy is just a conflict of interest all around when it comes down to him being in this at all.
Right,
Period.
but you know, Republicans still gonna do what they want to do, right? They're still gonna follow what Trump's agenda is. They just don't want media because it's giving their constituents the information, and they're questioning like, hey, why is this happening? Like I guess what CEO said, people really don't understand, right? And when you got someone like Elon Musk who has this big following and he's saying this is what we're going to do and this is why we need to do it, it's like he's revealing the plan. They're just pushing these policies and they're trying to make this shit happen. And with him talking about it, it's it's causing problems in their own districts. So they don't want him to talk about it.
And they really think he's going to follow that. Okay, great. His Twitter fingers could never not. I mean, these people, people like Elon, he doesn't have rules. He doesn't have guardrails. He doesn't live that life. So now you're going to put train your wheels on somebody and expect them to follow it. Okay.
And look at what's happening now. China, I think this up yesterday. It might have been Mickey. China is investing in a new canal in Mexico. So that's going to be more issues when it comes to supply chain as far as the United States having a, a, um, a seat at the table. Like this dude, we're losing our seats at the table, Matt, or anyone else. I'm not going to just say Matt. Anyone else that follows this guy, Wyatt. Wyatt disappeared.
Just out of curiosity, which table are you, when you say seats at the table, what are you referring to?
To be able to have a say, to
No,
be able to have that conversation. So if China's investing in Mexico, that's going to be Mexico and China working that out. And then supposedly, the area that they're trying to build this new canal is gonna, uh, it's, I mean, it's gonna affect Panama's economy, obviously, and it's gonna save money for people to use that canal instead of using the Panama Canal.
yeah, and I think China's kind of globalist agenda speaks for itself. There, from Africa to South America, all over China as a whole. And I think the conversation that I've seen relative to that canal through Mexico is more about Donald Trump's misaligned priorities than the Chinese globalization. It just shows that there's personal issues with Donald Trump in terms of his consistent conversation about taking over Panama and the Panama Canal. So I would more so, you know, in that conversation, because China's been doing that for a long time, especially if you just take a peek at Africa, that's a whole nother story. But with regards to Donald Trump and misaligned priorities, and him making decisions that are really emotional and personal for him, it's a really interesting story, and I would wonder if you guys in the room have ever really had much discussion. Well, I'm sure you have discussion about just the fact that simply Russia has been restricted because of continuous sanctions over the years from that Panama Canal. So it's Putin's interest that wants the Panama Canal to remove the barriers of, or sanctions against Russia. So to me, I think it's just ironic when you think of Elon Musk having multiple conversations with Vladimir Putin over the past 2 years. And the whole history of Donald Trump and Russia and what he was doing in the 80s and 90s, if you really follow the history of it, and the fact that when they first got in office in 2016, he didn't even let the American press in one of those first news conferences. He only let the Russian press in. And then you follow the story all the way through and you look at it like literally all of the things that Putin and the post-Soviet Union has been trying to accomplish. This is the best that their stock market has ever done. Global opportunities have ever been, the most relevant they've been, the biggest growth in their economy that's ever happened. Uh, all of their agendas have been accomplished in terms of destroying or trying to lay the destabilization of NATO, destabilizing the United States. So it's just so interesting that people are watching this and talking about all these other motives and personality traits and stuff like that without realizing that they are the best thing that ever happened to Putin's Russia in the past several decades. And it's just really interesting when you just follow the line and realize they literally are accomplishing every goal Putin ever had. I guess everyone in the room must be asleep at this point.
I was thinking the same thing, CO.
It is what it is.
No, I don't. I think there was no pushback, so um, they just didn't say anything.
There ain't no pushback for that.
Yeah, there's no pushback. But to be honest, even with Africa, like with China and Africa engagement, this all like they really started building during his first administration because we didn't invest in Africa during. Trump tried to pull us out of USAID during that time too. So
China's been
China's
investing in
influence in
Africa.
Africa, that growth was really big during his first administration. He didn't have what was it? When it came to his ambassador appointments in the region, we had issues. During Obama's administration, they created AFRICOMs, right? It was a whole new combatant command. And AFRICOM wasn't about security. It was more about it was supposed to be about our diplomatic engagements. That's why I was talking about they would send me and my homegirl Stacy, we would go to Africa and we would go to Djibouti, we'd go to Nigeria, and and we would work with the would be with fund, like food money received from USAID. And that was so that we could have a footprint in those countries, right? Something like I brought up something as simple as irrigation systems and stuff like that. During his administration, there was a lot of that pulled back. So
Patty, did you say that a lot of that was pulled back?
yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, and that's, I'm sure you know this, but specifically China, they were invested in Africa in the freaking, 90s, 80s, 90s, and then, it was an uptick early 2000s, but they've been nonstop. investing in Africa for the same reason that people have been investing in Africa for years, because all the minerals are there. You know, you can't,
Yeah.
50% cobalt in the world to make these computers that we're sitting on talking on Clubhouse with. You know, you got to get it out of the Congo. And so they've been distracted and partially instigating wars and then snatching all of the rich minerals from underneath the soil. So, you know, even in South Africa right now, their indoctrination is so deep that their government is making partnerships to have kids K through 12 learning Mandarin in South Africa. So it's just, you know, these colonizations, exploitation situations they aren't stopping. Even though we talk about stuff past tense, this stuff is real now and in the future.
Yeah, that's true. But during his first administration, that's when we seen a lot of airports coming up. Some of these those railway systems that they
Yeah.
were helping build. We seen a lot of that coming up during that 2017 through 2021. A lot of those loans that came out during his administration too. Like if you so we were watching this shit and there was conversations being had, but the U.S. didn't want to engage because we were on this America First policy shit. But you're right; they've been investing for years. But the big investments came during his first administration when we were not there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that specifically, but I'll take your word for it. And Patty, if you don't mind me asking, when you say we, as it relates to doing stuff in Africa, uh, is this a conglomerate, a company, or a group of
I'm
people that
talking
you
about
work?
our government.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm talking about our government overall. Like we neglected Africa as our strategic partner. It's crazy, but you're right. They were investing, but our biggest issues came during his administration because there was like a lot of pings, like ding, airport, ding, new railway project, ding. Like they just gave them a grant for this, loans for this. Like it was just crazy. And Africoms kept reporting back, reporting back. So nobody took it seriously. Everybody's about this America First shit and see what happens. Now we don't have a seat at the table, or we have a limited seat at the table.
Yeah, it's just it's an interesting proposition. You know, if you think about, you know, obviously European companies and obviously China, and you know, between colonization and exploitation, Africa has been what it is for years in terms of its people resources and other resources being valuable to the entire world. It's the emerging economy of the future right now. So everybody's trying to get their grips and hands on stuff that's Africa for whatever it's worth. But you got to, what you're saying is just really interesting, and there's a lot of truth to it in terms of how the investments and the manipulation of data and information and to Africans has caused Africans to resent and have a real strong opinion against the United States of America. And it's just really interesting to play out. I was over there, and then you would think with Barack Obama being Kenyan, how many anti-Obama, how much anti-Obama sentiment there was, and like, well, Bush did this, and blah blah blah. And this is real time. Last time I was in Ghana, so you know, it's just a very interesting observing what should be one of the top conversations that we all are having, and that's the proliferation of propaganda, and how in a world and a time where we have access to more information than any time in history, people are dumber and more confused than ever for all of the reasons, because the propagandists can manipulate data and spread it in such a way that it's never happened in the history of the world, because of these, you know, networks and 24-hour news cycles and social media and so forth and so on. So people are really, really doing a great job confusing people and making people hate people that are really for them. So in Africa, it's just really amazing just watching the sentiment of certain people and how they're really, you know, just like everywhere, it's just like propaganda is working as a bottom line.
Give me a second. I'm pulling up this clip, y'all. Okay, let me go ahead and give you a background. FEMA hiring overhaul drives fear of agency dismantling as hurricane season. It says after firing more than 200 probation workers from the nation's federal disaster relief agency, the Trump administration has taken its first steps to dismantle FEMA just months ahead of hurricane.
Yeah, they want the states to be responsible for their own disaster. And let's see how
Mhm.
the hell that works out.
In an email labeled hiring update obtained by CBS News, FEMA informed employees Friday night of a new hiring process that overhauls contract renewals for more than two-thirds of the agency's workforce, requiring all employees to submit requests for further extensions to the Department of Homeland Security for approval. The decision has created confusion among the ranks of thousands of employees impacted with fears that the new process will effectively gut the majority of FEMA's workforce over the next 2 to 4 years by forcing employees to reapply for their jobs through the agency's overseers at DHS. Let me go ahead and play this clip real quick. Make sure my music goes.
The question becomes what happens to all of their benefits and the TSP and the pension and all of that. You know, when you cause disruption, that throws a monkey wrench in every damn thing.
Well, go apply for another GS position, I guess. I don't know. So you can get fired from that one. I don't know it. News. Sophia and Finn, great to see you. Thanks for joining me. Sophia, we talked about this going into the break. This question that President Trump rather surprisingly raised on his way to North Carolina, then to California, either get rid of FEMA, vastly overhaul it. My colleague Margaret Brennan asked J.D. Vance, Vice President, about this on Face the Nation. Control room, play that soundbite if you'd be so kind.
The Mississippis, the Kentuckys, the Alabamas be able to do this for themselves without federal help?
Well, the president, to be clear, is not saying we're going to leave anybody behind. He's saying that in the way that we administer these resources, some of which is coming from the federal level, some of which is coming from the state level, we've got to get the bureaucrats out of the way and get the aid to the people who need it most. On the table, as best concerned, it is just send it to the states and have them administer all this. Sophia, that sounds like a kind of Back to the Future thing, 1960s, 1950s America, not the FEMA and disaster preparation and response that we've seen most recently.
Right. Cut FEMA, plus he can't do it on his own anyway.
Congress has to agree.
Right, yes, of course. And what he's doing there is something he does a lot, which is put the most extreme proposal on the table. And with the executive order that he's going to do, it really just asks for a task force. He's going to assemble some experts, some agency heads to say, give me some recommendations for changes to FEMA. And, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise because this was an issue that he had with the entire campaign, including when he went to go visit Asheville, North Carolina.
And we had over the weekend, on Sunday in particular, a rapid back and forth that looked like it was moving toward a trade war between the Trump administration and the government of Colombia. By about 11 p.m. last night, it had been resolved Eastern time. just after the second of two Championship Sunday playoff games. Not exactly suggesting they're related, but it all got calmed back down. Sure. What, if anything, does that tell us about the tenacity of the Trump administration and the willingness of other trading partners to stand up for themselves, at least for a moment or two? What you're talking about, Major, of course, is the 19-hour trade war with Colombia, as our colleague Ed O'Keefe calls it. Yeah, but it is, and it was, and it also showed us, I believe, he opened up his playbook on tariffs, what he can do. Look, President Trump did. Look, Colombia is a smaller country. We know that. But right now, 2 weeks before Valentine's Day, it's a crucial partner in what? In flowers, right? So, like, and don't forget coffee. Coffee, which AOC, I think, very smartly and very politically astute comment there said, look, this impacts you and coffee for Americans, right? Because the tariffs are applied not to Colombians, they're applied to us. Right. So who would you rather, what commodity would you rather buy and where from? So therefore, what he showed us was, this is how I'm going to use tariffs. I'm going to use this as a weapon, as a tool to harness those who do not agree with certain issues that are key to me and my base, including immigration. And he corralled them. And he harnessed, he utilized that weapon. He utilized it as a tool to put them in place. And by the end of those 19 hours, Colombia had agreed. And Sophia, the underlying issue here was deportation flights and the way that the United States was handling them and the way the Colombian government interpreted the sort of roughing up or disrespect shown to Colombians being repatriated. Right. And I think the expectation from the Trump White House was that the Colombian government agreed to every single one of the asks, which is, whenever we send you undocumented immigrants from the U.S., you take them, no questions asked. And up until the point when the Colombian government agreed to all of that, they had said, all of these tariffs have been drafted. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward, until they had all of those expectations met. And in essence, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say, more than not, the Colombian government blinked. Yeah. Oh, for sure. They slow blinked. It was definitely a blink. And it was a slow blink. Yeah, but at the same time, two things I think that he should be cognizant of is the growing power of President Trump should be cognizant of the growing power of China in those Latin American countries, right? Are they going to pivot and say, like, fine, we're going to go and China will be our major benefactor here, right? Like there can be some consequences that they may not be prepared for. This didn't happen in this case, of course, but also I do believe you saw President Sheinbaum in Mexico also this afternoon speaking out against President Trump and the administration's efforts on immigration as well. She did. So has this caused maybe a domino effect while other Latin American leaders who are key partners in his immigration plans and policies, will they also fall in line, or will they be more vocal about their citizens who are being deported back? I mean, that's something to keep an eye on. And Sophia, as you know, the United States and Colombia have been very good allies, trading partners. Colombia has resisted the temptation that Finn just raised of other South American countries to orient themselves as trading partners more aggressively with China, been more aggressive toward the United States. So they're supposedly in the safe and good camp, and they still get roughed up by tariff threats. Yeah, absolutely. And, with Canada, too. Right? Canada, like, Mexico, that first truth, I mean, he wasn't in office yet. And Trump sent out this truth about tariffs, and I think within 24 hours, you had Canada's leaders show up to Mar-a-Lago to, have the opening chat with Trump. I mean, that's another example of a U.S. ally being thrown in the thick of it. And whether there's going to be a fast blink, a slow blink, or an intermediately timed blink, schedule February 1 in your day planners, because in regards to Mexico and Canada, that's when those tariffs threatened by President Trump may actually become real. Finn Gomez, Sophia Kai, thank you very much for joining me at the table. Imagine a switch that could wipe your personal data.
Well, it went from FEMA into tariffs. But yeah, a lot of those changes in those positions with FEMA is causing a lot of issues. I brought up the other day, like me, some of the shit I'm doing at work is kind of ridiculous. I ain't sign up for that shit. But yeah.
People, I guess they sleeping in on a wonderful Sunday. Um, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for these people to wake up. He cares about what he cares about, and that's it. He's going to throw you under the bus at any given time. He's proven it over and over and over again. Whatever.
Yeah, well, and I just would add to the conversation relative to FEMA and Donald Trump's personal interest. At the end of the day, he's still just like a Manchurian candidate. He's like he's a place saver. He just was able to be loud and wrong enough to accomplish the goals of several entities that have coalesced together to basically claim power. And part of it is the vestiges of a confederacy, evangelical groups. Again, the Soviet Union's leftovers with Putin, and so Donald Trump literally finds himself accidentally as a part of something to where the power bases are accomplishing goals that they've wanted to accomplish forever. They've always wanted to, get rid of the Department of Education for multiple, capitalist reasons. They've always wanted to, change, um, Roe versus Wade. They've always wanted to have Supreme Court justices be conservative. They've always wanted to, peel back what they call bureaucracy, uh, which is kind of sort of silly because then you just have a bunch of bureaucracies at the state level, so it's still procedure. So the whole concept of everything that they're describing is BS, and it's less about Trump and more about an agenda by a group of people that have been working on these plans and manipulating their hearts and minds to accomplish certain political and power goals for decades since integration in the United States. So it's just interesting to see it played out and how many people get played by information, and we discuss issues that are not really the issues at all. So the goal isn't to have better preparedness. It's literally to destabilize parts of the government, allow different people to have profitability in different areas to exploit and privatize certain things. So, when people are kind of sort of talking like, well, why would he do that? As if the goal is let's make FEMA better. It's not. And I jumped in the chat, and definitely the Heritage Foundation is one of those groups. You can call them all kinds of names: conservatives, evangelicals, the Heritage Group, Heritage Foundation, KKK, all of these organizations that are basically behind this movement and this agenda. Definitely the case, is without a shadow of a doubt.
And that was cute. Heritage Foundation, KKK.
No, literally, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what you call them. And then Steve Bannon might as well be the Grand Wizard. The names don't matter. They're not wearing sheets anymore. So it's like if their agenda is anti-black and brown people, anti-women, anti-progress, anti-union, they have the same goals as all of those traditional terrorizing organizations. So it really doesn't matter what the nomenclature is. It's like this is what it is. They're doing the same thing. So if you're
Definitely not. They're definitely not the same thing.
what's
I
not
think
this,
for a black man to conflate a political think tank, regardless of its political ambitions, to the Klan is just so out of pocket, ridiculous. It is not the Klan, sir.
okay, hold
The
on, hold on,
Klan
Mr.
went around writing, excuse me, sir. We've heard you get to Barry White, and you'll never find, as long as you live, another
Okay, we have some
pseudo.
hater energy in here. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, you. Yes, we get some hate in this house. Anybody that conflates a think tank in 2025 with the Klan of the 19th and early 20th century is a moron. And I don't care if you can sing bass in Mussorgsky's oratorio Des Katarina Uskarstu.
Okay, so tell me what your issue is again in the conflation that you're describing. Give me the theory again that the
It's not a theory.
are you
You're
answer the
you
question.
just
You're
asked
saying
me to describe it again. I'm describing it again. I'm telling you the whole
hold on a second.
point.
Let me finish the question so you can describe
I
it
can hear the
actually.
question.
No,
You're
but
not a
no,
particularly
no, no,
deep
no.
thinker. I
Hold
know
on a
your
second.
stupid ass
Hold on a
question.
second. Seriously, I'm saying, are you saying the Klan can't be related to the Heritage Foundation?
I didn't say that.
Okay, tell
You
me what.
said they were the same regardless of the nomenclature, and they are not.
Okay, so when
If
you
you're
say this,
talking about historical, and so now you're going to interrupt me. You do your thing, brother. You've been doing your pseudo thing for the last 20 minutes. You got it.
what is that's so funny. What is my pseudo thing would be the
Anything
interesting
you
part.
say is pseudo.
Oh yeah, why is that? Break
Anybody
one.
who conflates the Heritage Foundation with the Ku Klux Klan is a moron and a pseudo.
Okay, okay. So just to start it off, right? I sit in multiple organizations, and I won't name them. You can be in the Klan and in the Heritage Foundation at the same time.
I
So
know
break down.
that.
Okay, so then what are you talking about? Are you specifically saying what the agendas are, what the express agenda, what the history is, where they come from, what their goals are? What is it, sir, that you're complaining about? I don't get it.
You said the Klan and
Uh
the
huh.
Heritage Foundation were the
Uh
same.
huh. No,
They
well,
are
so
not.
okay, so if
You
you're
said
if
it doesn't matter. I don't know, understand. So when you got to speak for the last 20 minutes, I was watching stuff. Nobody interrupted you. I finally come off to disagree with you, and you are verbally incontinent.
well,
Let me
when I was
finish my,
speaking for the
and there he
past 20
goes.
minutes, nobody called anybody moronic
There he
either,
goes.
but your idiot
Because
ass.
you hadn't said anything so stupid. So let me
Okay.
speak, then you can respond.
Okay, but if somebody calls me
There you
moronic,
go.
I'm probably gonna interrupt your stupid
There you go.
ass.
There you go.
If
Well,
you
what you
speak to
said,
me,
you
if you
know,
speak to me like you got
there
some
he
fucking
goes.
sense, then I won't. You don't call me
There he
moronic on the
goes.
phone. You got the wrong fucking one, buddy.
What are you gonna
You can
do? You
speak
gonna
you speak
sing?
with some terms that have respect. For 20 minutes, I spoke with reverence and respect. If you
I don't
disagree with my
respect a
concept,
black man.
that's
I
one
don't
thing.
I
If
don't
you want to
respect.
give me
Shut your
information,
bitch
that's
ass
another.
up. Your information is here in the goo. How's that information? Barry, take your Lou Raw's ass down to the goo. Interrupting people. You'll never find as long as you live. Someone it's a black man conflates the Heritage Foundation with the Ku Klux Klan. Night riders, lynchers, terrorizers. That's a moronic statement. A group that wants to get rid of the Department of Education, all Red Project 2025, with the KKK.
That was a good build.
It's one thing to have a problem with the political, but you have to be specific in how you marshal your arguments. And I came off because that was ridiculous. Thought a lot of other stuff he said was silly, but that's fine. But to say the Heritage Foundation is the KKK is absurd.
But that's not the point. You missed the point because you're getting hooked on phonics. You can ask and deliberate the point, but to come off talking about somebody's moronic without understanding what they
Point
actually
was
mean,
moronic.
you know what? I won't even talk to somebody as idiotic as what you're describing right now. You sound stupid for even saying what you're saying. You're not worthy of my intellect. It's like you're having a conversation. Is it well, the Proud Boys are different from the KKK, are different than the Confederacy. Like, who the fuck? They're anti-black. They have an agenda. One's definitely a different organization, but you missed the overall point that I said. Terrorizing and burning crosses isn't really the terror, in my humble opinion, if you really understand the history of all these organizations.
Well, did you all hear what he just said?
Yeah,
Terrorizing
Okay.
and
burning
burning
the
cross.
crosses,
Please,
Excuse me, can I
burning the
please.
finish?
crosses isn't the worst
Can
thing
I
that happened to
finish?
black people, is what I'm
Oh
Can
saying.
I
God,
finish?
stop, please,
Can I
sir,
finish? Why
please.
you keep interrupting me? You just have to finish your point.
Yeah,
He just said that
because you said moronic,
terrorizing.
you said stupid shit.
He just said that
That's why I'm interrupting
terrorizing.
you.
Come on, bro. You gotta. He just said that terrorizing
If you
and
respect the call,
the call. This is not Usher board number
but
5. What the fuck you mean the call? What are you
what
talking
the
about?
fuck I mean is the way you brought your dumb ass in there talking shit and everybody else was
Oh
respectful.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, come on, sucker.
Yeah,
Let's
come
get it
on.
on.
Yeah,
Shout out to Della Reese and Harlem
yeah,
Nights. So anyway,
yeah,
I want people
yeah.
to realize what he did. I want you to
What? Check the
in
stupid
his
motherfucker that
last in
doesn't know
his
how to be
oh,
respectful.
he said Proud Boys, KKK, Confederacy. Notice he left the Heritage Foundation. He then said terrorizing and burning crosses was not terror.
Yeah,
The message.
I did. Stop me in my tracks.
So for him, the burning of a cross outside of a black church in 1910 wasn't really terror. You know what it was? It was a new technique for grass cutting and lawn renovation because it would save water because they were anticipating climate change and water issues. So if you burnt the grass with a cross, it would allow the grass to be singed instead of cut, so you wouldn't have to water it as much.
That's wild. That's
Heritage
wild.
Foundation and the KKK. This person said on this. How many people have the KKK, the Heritage Foundation, excuse me, dragged behind horses,
Yeah,
lynched,
that's
raped, disemboweled, ripped babies out of the womb, gave a Mississippi appendectomy? The Heritage Foundation does that? This is another classic example of someone, him, who can put a sentence together. Has a little bass in his voice, so he thinks he knows what he's talking about. I'm not gonna bless you with the privilege of my intellect.
that's wild. I couldn't imagine telling
Why do
my.
you keep sending me to the audience?
Oh, okay, he got it.
You didn't hear that brother speaking? You come right up here speaking. He's talking. Wasn't even me. Brother Messi hadn't said anything. You just cut him off. What's wrong with you?
What? No, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I didn't hear what happened.
You didn't hear him speaking when you came up and started speaking? He was speaking. He was mid-sentence. He was already on the second sentence. You come up and ask why you got sent to the goo. You got sent to the goo because you kept over talking people, which is the first thing he did when you came up here. Just wait till he's done. See?
Yeah. I was just saying I can't imagine telling my great grandfather, who I remember telling me stories when I was younger about how when he lived in Florida as a child he hid in the bushes when he saw sort of like a clan caravan um, sort of driving past him. And as a child, how scared he was. And he didn't know where they went. He didn't know where they were going or what they did. But he knew what they were capable of. I had to be maybe 10 or 11, and I remember I'm 42 now. I remember that story. I remember where I was. I remember how he told it, and the description. He had to be 85 plus at that point. And maybe not that, probably not that much. He wasn't that old, but he was old. He was definitely old when I was 12. He was older, um, and I just remember the fear that he was trying to describe, like just trying to tell me as a young person how fearful he was, and I can't imagine. And that's just sort of seeing them, right? Just sort of a caravan passing by. Um, and he described sort of what they were wearing. And um, I can't imagine going back to him or going back to anyone at that period of time and saying, well, as scary as that might be, let me tell you about this think tank in Washington that creates white papers on economic policy. And that's the real and that's the real danger in 2025. Nothing that you in that moment compares to what they're doing now in terms of writing white papers and advocating for particular policy changes as it relates to, the tax code. I don't know. That's I hope at the very least you recognize how dismissive and disrespectful that sounds. Not we won't whether or not it is. I believe it is, but how disrespectful that sounds to people um, who have ancestors who experienced that level of terror, trauma. Um, yeah, I'm done speaking.
Yeah, if I could, what was your name? McKay? Yeah. So I think the gentleman, kind of sort of conflated, if I want to use the term, actually what I said or what the intention for the comment was, because we didn't get to the next part of the comment. I will make this short analogy. If we're talking about drugs on the street and somebody's family was terrorized in Harlem because of the crack cocaine epidemic, right? I'm just saying that we could be mad at every drug dealer, but the people who allowed the flights, who invested in all of the apparatus that created those drug dealers on the street, my point is they are just as scary as the actual dealers that are moving the product, right? So a lot of times, if we talk about the way that our young black people are influenced by dope music with killing that influences them, that wasn't the case at certain periods in our history. So we always talk about what Chief Keef did and so forth and so on, but are we really thinking about the entities in the group that invest in killing dope music and pays radio to play that music in our communities? So my position is not to dismiss the terror of the KKK, but to just say that the groups and the entities that are behind the armies of KKK um, are just as evil. So the point I was making is that support, finance, and instruct organizations like the KKK to enact terror. But we really have to think about the power bases behind these entities that terrorize people of our culture. There's no way. I'm from Florida, Jersey born, raised in Florida. Have family that have been, from Buffalo Soldiers to Tuskegee Airmen to part of every civil rights organization. So I'm deeply vested in everything anti-black, and that's pro-human. So I would never dismiss the influence on the KKK. I'm just saying we have to think about who's behind the KKK and who's behind these dope organizations and who's behind the dope pushing. That was my point.
Okay, he stopped. I'll be accused of interrupting. So the claim was that made me come off mute was the KKK Foundation the same. That was the claim, and you went on, and it was silly. Then you included someone like Steve Bannon. To even include someone like Steve Bannon with the KKK means you don't know anything about the KKK. Steve Bannon, why could Steve Bannon have not been a part of the KKK?
Now
Oh, so
go.
you're like Travis. You start to nervously laugh when you don't know what you're talking about.
You have a lot of ad hominem attacks. I wish you would just make your logical point and stop with the logical fallacies. What is your point? You just disagree. I don't know why who put you as the resident
Leave the
genius that knows everything.
KKK. This KKK was a avowed Protestant supremacy group. They had
Huh? Okay,
religious. What is funny about that?
you're funny. Now just go ahead. Give me your history of the KKK, good sir.
It's not a history KKK. It's just a basic fact.
Of course, your facts are facts. Let's go with it. What are you? Tell me what you're saying.
The KKK was an avowed Protestant supremacy group. They were very, very anti-Catholic. I mean, they're my facts. That's just basic KKK history. Do people not know this? Okay. Did
Okay.
you disagree, CO, before I continue? Or
Well,
you
well,
was
I just add a little nuance. It's not necessarily a disagreement, but it's like, for instance, real short. They replay a Malcolm X statement all the time in the propaganda about Malcolm X discussing who liberals are. His position evolved some years after that. So a lot of times people say, well, Democrats are the beginning of the KKK because they were original this. The nomenclature, the names of these organizations, they evolve and change and morph just like a human does. You can learn something new the next year. So the history of the KKK, you can Google it. You can talk about Catholic and Protestant and what they did and burning crosses and all that. But the KKK in and of itself is an organization that morphed just like every other organization. So yes, what period are you discussing the KKK? I understand the
all
history.
of them.
Anybody that understands and can Google with a smartphone can read the history of the KKK. So we don't need lectures on the KKK with your brilliance there, Mr.
I wasn't
GOA.
giving a lecture.
Okay, well, it sounded like a lecture, but my point is,
You spoken
what
more
is
than
it
me.
that
What
you're
the?
what is it that you're actually saying about the history of the KKK that doesn't make them similar to other organizations in their mission?
So these organizations, different missions because they're shaped and animated by different ideologies. And just because you don't like them doesn't mean they're one and the same as you suggested.
No, they're different.
Now the question, why can you keep interrupting? You are. Hold, you know what? You liked it when you were speaking by yourself. You got it, bro.
No, I just didn't like when you were speaking because what you're saying is kind of BS.
Institutions aren't charged and animated by ideology. How is that BS?
Well, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, institutions have ideologies, but what are you saying? Yeah, maybe you impress other people with the you know talk, but if you're not impressing, you're not really saying much.
Okay. The Klan had its own ideology. Steve Bannon's ideology does not fit with the Klan's. Now you said we can Google and find out when the KKK. There's different periods. We know classically. You had the post. I'm not going to lecture it. You know. Tell us when they became integralists, like Steve Bannon.
Okay, so don't put words in my mouth. I'm really
You just
articulate.
said they morphed.
No. You just keep misunderstanding because you're not set to listen. You came off contentious and joking about who I am, and your intellectual inferiority complex is really like speaking loud, right?
Okay.
Let me use my words. You don't use my words, right? Well, I didn't say they morphed. I said there are similarities, and they have some mutual objectives. Is the point that I'm making?
You
You're getting
literally
caught on
said
whether.
institutions morph, bro.
No, I never said they morphed. There's, I did. There's that's stupid. They did not morph. I said, listen to what I'm saying, because you got maybe a listening issue here.
Okay.
What I'm saying is entities and organizations morph as in individually, not collectively.
That's what I'm
They
talking
evolve.
about. I'm asking when
They
the
evolve.
Klan morphed. That's what I'm
No,
asking.
yeah, but listen to what I'm saying though. The Klan evolved over the course of the years. Maybe that's a better word for you, right?
I'm
The
saying,
Klan,
when did they become pro-Catholic? Because I was talking about Protestant v. Catholic. When did they become pro-Catholic?
they're not. They were anti-Catholic in the beginning. What do you? I never said they were pro-Catholic.
That's what I was talking about. So you cut me off. So let me finish.
Okay, go
Steve
back to
Bannon
your
is an
point.
integralist. Let me just finish.
Okay, go
Steve
ahead.
Bannon is an integralist. Now you got this person in the chat, Victoria, fascinating, who says they celebrated his appointment. Wait till she finds out that the American Nazi Party also used to meet with the Nation of Islam. Doesn't mean they were one and the same.
Okay.
Okay. So my point is, and I don't know why this Victoria person, I wish she would never say anything while I'm speaking because I'll always respond to her. Anyway, my point is that the Heritage Foundation is not the Klan. You can have racist organizations that are not the same. I just disagree with your conflation.
Okay.
Let's move on. We're
Okay.
moving on, moderating the space. If you don't move on, you'll just be put down permanently. We're moving on.
You're a
You
funny
sound
guy.
just like Al Shabaab. Oh
Okay,
my
my
God.
friend. Okay, my friend. It's a lower intellectual inferiority complex. Maybe that could be
Okay,
a
It,
no, no,
it,
personality.
no. Listen. He said we're moving on. He said he says that, the conflation, he doesn't agree with it, but we're moving on. Okay. So
hold on,
there's
hold on,
your
hold on, hold on,
piece.
hold on.
Okay. Mhm.
Oh, not you.
Oh, I just wanted us to keep the peace. Cause CEO, I think it is. I like you. I'm glad you came on stage. I'm glad you came into the space. I don't want you to, get the wrong impression. It's just that, we go back forth and sometimes we don't agree with each other. And you don't know Goat yet, and he doesn't know you.
No, I know this
So
guy. We've heard
oh,
him speak
oh, you
before.
know him?
We,
Oh, I
we
know
we've heard him speak before. He's the one that came in saying people are frequently worried about the wrong things, and then he and the and the not the main thing and the other thing. He says the same thing all the time. So you know who he is. I don't care what people say. I just think that when you say that the Heritage Foundation and the KKK are the same, I think that's disrespectful. I think it's not very intelligent, and I think it's bad politics. That's it. But I think it's incredibly disrespectful to Black Americans. Now,
Okay.
I'm one of these weird people, if I may. I'm
Mm-hmm,
one of these weird people that actually respects the history of Black Americans and their story in America. So
mm-hmm,
that puts me in the minority in America, definitely on this app, which is one of the most negrophobic spaces on the internet, which is just to say it's on the internet. So if I got triggered by that, I apologize. So
okay.
I will take back my interjection for a black man to say
Uh,
that the Heritage Foundation
you
is
I
the
said we're
thought I
moving
thought
right
you
same
were
as the
along.
finished.
Klan.
You said we're
Excuse me, I'm
moving
speaking to
along.
First Lady. I'm not speaking to you, sir.
Cut it out.
So I will take back my objection and instead stay on mute and not say anything in the chat like everybody else. When people say a think tank is the same as the group that terrorized, lynched, and raped your ancestors. So, First Lady, that's my fault. Take it back.
But let me just ask you a question. Would you say that the heritage group is made up of some of the KKK people? Like KKK people are part of the group?
No,
They are.
it's not. Wait, who in the Heritage Foundation is in the Klan now? Wait. How do you guys know this stuff?
I don't know. That's why I asked the question.
They are factually speaking.
Name
I
one.
don't. I don't know.
I
I
I
don't know.
I don't. I won't do that.
Okay. See, this hold on, Monica, be quiet. Monica, be quiet. Be quiet. Monica, be quiet. So let me say this. You could be in the Nation of Islam and
I'm not.
also be in, I'm talking about you. Shut up. You can be in the Nation of Islam in 1962 and part of the National Urban League in 1962. That doesn't mean that the National Urban League and the Nation of Islam are the same.
Got it. I agree.
You can be, I'm almost, let me go through. Because this seems like a silly point to say someone's in both. That doesn't mean the organizations are the same. You could be in the Nation of Islam and part of the SCLC, doesn't mean it was the same. So he can go ahead and name individual members in the Heritage Foundation. That'd be a weird one to find a member given they're kind of dorks. I mean, they're like neocons. I don't know. They would be in the Klan. So we'll wait for CEO to give us names. Go ahead, Monica, do your thing.
Sorry for the dramatic pause. I would love some substantiation on the claim that the Heritage Foundation is full of KKKers. You got that for us, CO, or no?
I'm just real specific with my words. People are using them
No, you're
loosely.
overgeneralizing and hyperbolic. We've known this for
Well,
an hour.
well, actually, you just said something that was overgeneralizing and hyperbolic because you said
Find
full
one.
of. You said full of. I didn't say that. I said there are members in. You said full
Find
of. I didn't say that.
one. Find
Say it again.
one for us to scrutinize, and then we can strategize on how to
I'm.
remove racial bigots from the Heritage Foundation. I don't think you can.
No, I won't be doing that in this
Right,
conversation.
because you can't. And
Okay.
so that's where we get into trouble.
No, I
Like,
don't get
Goat
into
and I
trouble doing it.
disagree 9 times out of 10, probably 9.5 times out of
Okay.
10. And when people join the stage and toss out, these guys are racist, those are bigots, those are whatever, whatever, and you can't substantiate, it reflects on you, not us.
Okay.
You
Well,
compared people in 2025 who use microwave ovens to people who rode horses with white hoods that destroyed families. Do you understand how incredibly obtuse and minimizing that is?
yeah, and I understand how
It's
obtuse you have to be to
stolen
miss my point.
suffering. It's terrible.
You're obtuse when you miss the entire point because it's
I'm
harmful.
dumb, and you can't provide one person that we can scrutinize that
Let me explain.
you labeled one of the worst things a person can be in 2025. I'm dumb. Okay, I'm obtuse.
You just said
Knock
I was
yourself
obtuse,
out.
young lady. You guys, you can't have a glass jaw. You can't come in hurling insults and then get mad because I put it back on you. I'll answer the question. So just be for clarity, right? Let's talk about the difference between choice, making a choice not to tell you and not knowing something. I mean, it's not to tell you. That doesn't mean I'm obtuse. That means I'm smart because I don't put a
Mm.
lot of stuff on social media or in these rooms that I don't think to be put in there. So mentioning a specific name of an allegation of somebody that could be tracked and recorded, I don't know who you guys are. So I'm just telling you that I know it for a fact. You can believe it or not. And my reputation in this room of 50 people is not my greatest concern on a Sunday morning. Trust me, you guys will be all
Mhm.
right. What was it, Monica?
Yes,
Well, who's
Yeah.
sir.
the
So yeah.
who? I
So yeah.
forgot his
Just
name. Yeah, okay, we'll move on from that.
speak to
Okay.
me. Speak to me in a
Well, who's
specific
the
way that
head?
they say that you
Hold
disagree with
on.
my point. You
Okay,
don't have
we
to.
can move on.
You don't have to make a generalization about who I am.
You
Just say
generalize.
you disagree with the point.
Who's the head of that foundation now? I can't remember. And my computer, I don't know what's going to be able to turn on. Who's the head of the Heritage Foundation now, CEO? Because I'm going to send him an email. Who's
I'm
the
gonna,
head of the Heritage Foundation?
what are you going to send an email about?
I'm going to say there are Klan members in your group. What's his name?
Wow.
Kevin D. Roberts, yeah, is the president of the Heritage.
I know who
Can
the
we write
president
the
is,
letter
brother.
right
I wish
now?
you had let him answer so I could show that he
Oh,
doesn't even know the head of the group, but somehow knows secret Klan members.
my
Of
bad.
course, my
But
computer
so
works. What do you
so
mean my
so
computer doesn't work?
I didn't hear that
Uh
part.
oh,
I
messy.
but I'm just curious though, right?
my bad.
But you know nothing about me. How would you know what I know and don't know, and who I know and don't know? Like that to me, that's moronic.
It seems to me that if I knew someone who is practicing oppression based on race, and
Mhm.
I had people willing to write letters to the organization saying, "Hey, Tommy Jones is in your organization and he is oppressing people, which is illegal, discrimination on race."
Hmm.
You probably want to examine his work and see if he needs to be removed. Seems to me if I had that information and I was
Hmm.
on an anonymous platform, which would cost me nothing to provide,
Hmm.
that I would share a name of the group of people embedded in the Heritage Foundation that are hurting people. But that's just me, Monica.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Monica, your opinion is noted.
Given the prominence of the heritage, this
It's
is a
not an
serious point.
opinion, it's an argument, and it's valid, and you're not addressing it. I'm sorry, go
It's
ahead.
fine. Given the um, prominence of the Heritage Foundation in Project 2025, if there were Klan members and like all of them being staffed in Trump's administration, Russell Voigt from OMB, OBM, whatever, OBM, OMB, I can't remember. I always get them backwards. OMB, um, JD Vance, the vice president, and his relationship. If there were Klan members in the Heritage Foundation and some random dude named CO knew about them, a dude who has 1,600 followers on Instagram that calls himself a philosopher. If you knew about this,
Hmm.
you would be breaking the biggest political news of the year and possibly of Trump's second term. And the
And
fact
so,
that you think you want us to think you know, but people in DC don't know,
mm,
journalists don't know, members don't know, but a dude named CO with 1,500, 1,600 Instagram followers
hmm,
knows specifically members of the Heritage Foundation who are in the Klan.
you know
It
what? I'm
beggars
gonna have to
belief.
get
I'm
that
just
down to
telling you how
1,500.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Hmm.
You
Go
almost
ahead.
made it to the end.
Hmm.
It just makes us think you are making things up.
Oh, I got you.
I'm
I
done.
understand. I'm gonna try to get that Instagram down to 1,500. I hate that it got up to 1,600. So that's freaking terrible. Thank you for letting me know that it's gotten up that far. Um, yeah. Well, just for the historical account, since you're so well versed in the KKK history, you do know that it was a clandestine organization. You sure you know what that means, right? They
It was
wore hood.
not.
Hold on one second. Let me finish. They wore hoods, right? What was the purpose of them wearing hoods?
It was not. It was part of the. So many people think that. Yes, I know what. First of all, it's clandestine. Is how you pronounce the word,
Okay.
not clandestine, and it means secretive.
Oh my gosh. Okay, keep going, my friend.
Clandestine. It's
Okay,
not
go ahead.
Jewish.
Okay,
It's
go
not
ahead.
Jewish. Not
I got you.
clandestine.
I got you, young man. Go ahead.
Clandestine will be a secret Jew. And if
Go
anybody got that, that's kind of funny.
go ahead, my
It's
condescending friend.
clandestine.
Go ahead.
It's clandestine. I may be condescending. Now, see, this is just as for the room, just for everybody else.
Lord
I'm
have
the
mercy.
condescending. Hold on. You got to be just for other people because they come to the room every day.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
see, people condescending, but he was the one that said, if you know what that word means.
Hmm.
So when I return, this is not for you, CEO, it's for everybody else. When I return fire, all of you get in your little panties in a bunch, your Black Lives Matter thongs, and say, I'm the condescending one. But he was the one that said, if you know what that means. So
Yeah, that
now
was
I
condescending.
return it. Oh, be quiet. Just because I'm more talented at my condescension and wittier and
Uh,
funnier, y'all get y'all Black Lives Matter thongs up in your taints and you get mad at me.
I
I
hear
just want people to see I'm
emotionality
not
and,
talking
and,
to you,
and,
bro.
and
I'm not
intellectual
talking to you.
inferiority. I don't hear funny or wit
Okay, okay. And yet you've been laughing.
in a sarcastic, condescending way.
Okay, so see everybody here admitted he's being condescending.
I am. I'm in
Imagine
self-awareness.
thinking
I'm
you could.
self-awareness. How about
Okay,
you?
your self-awareness. What does that mean?
I am self-awareness. How about you?
Self-awareness. What does that mean?
It
You
means I am
are, as
self-awareness.
in you embody the whole that is self awareness,
Yes, I am.
said the guy who's not practicing self awareness.
It says
Okay.
Monica, who doesn't know what obtuse means.
Now, I didn't say I didn't know what obtuse is. I
Yeah, well,
just
you used it
disagree
Who
with
doesn't
you.
incorrectly.
know
You
what
said you
obtuse
used it
means?
incorrectly. So
You
so
used it to.
let me
Oh
just
my
respond. Let me just
goodness. You
let
got
me
him, go.
respond to the point though. All right, see, look, you guys can do the ad hominem attacks. I only got 1,600 followers. How could this guy know it? You don't know
It's
who I
not an
am.
ad hominem.
Well, Oh my God.
Ad hominem means to attack somebody's character. My point was, and I'll make it again. If you what I don't know what's so fun. What's going on?
Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy's hilarious. Is this the resident intellect, this GOA guy?
Hold
You
on.
just took the Lord's
Hold
name
on.
in vain, sir. That's
Wait,
not cool.
Okay, gotcha. I understand.
wait. I didn't attack your character or person. My point was, if somebody like you, who is a relative anonymous person, has this specialized knowledge, which would break the big. I mean,
But you
people
already
can
said that
disagree.
story. Please don't. You don't have to say
I
it
know
again.
that, but I'm just saying that's not an ad hominem. So
No,
anyway,
I can tell you what an ad hominem is. I know what the word means, and I meant it
what
just
does it
like I
mean?
said it. You
What does
guys
it
keep
mean?
litigating terms trying to be smart. I'm not in an intellectual conversation to see who's the smartest.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but what you guys keep saying is it's impossible for this no name unknown guy to know anything, right? I'm saying that's the idiotic part to
No, I
me.
didn't say it was impossible. I said
Okay,
it
where?
beggars belief. I said it's
Okay,
very difficult for us to
let's use your
understand.
word
Anything's
possible. Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
But let me just go back to the
I hear
larger
you.
point. Let me get to
Go
the
ahead.
larger point. The Klan, for all of
Yeah.
its sheet wearing, we knew who was in the Klan. The sheet
Oh
wearing.
gosh, Jesus Christ.
Hmm. All right, go ahead, Brother.
How can you say you knew who was in the Klan? If everybody didn't always know every person in the Klan. You don't. That was the point I was making. Is they were intentionally trying to be hidden from everyone. They didn't want you to know that it was your banker, that was the CEO of a corporation. The whole purpose of the Klan historically is they did not know who you were. They didn't want you to know who they were.
So
So in
then how do you know now?
2025, they taking the hoods off, but they still have secrecy. They don't want you to know who they are.
Right. So then that would be the reason why the question is, well, how do you know who they are? Because
So,
they aren't flashing it, right?
without going into all the detail, right? Here's
Mm.
what I'm trying to say, right? There's nothing that you guys could do to manipulate me into sharing information. Some things are shared, some
Oh,
things
I'm
aren't.
not trying to get you to. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand the point. If I can't prove it and don't show a receipt that I said something, then it may be not true. I get it because I don't have credibility and you guys don't know me. And I have 1,600 followers. I get it. The point. You can move on to the next point.
Okay, so just for other people, the Klan robes and hood, the robes, hoods, etc. First of all, depending on which version of the Klan, they didn't always wear them, and they were mostly used for ceremonial purposes because they got a lot of their symbology, a lot of their ritual from the medieval era. People knew, if you read any Black history, Black people did not say, "Oh, we didn't know the banker was in the Klan." When you read like not Opportunity Magazine, like if you read like say the Savannah, I think it's the Savannah Tribune, for example, which was a Black newspaper in Savannah. Black people knew who was in the Klan. They had parades. If you look at pictures of lynchings, people aren't always, if ever, I mean, very rarely wearing hoods. So there's a common misconception, and people online repeat it over and over again. Oh, they did it for secrecy. So people knew who was in the Klan because they were in small towns. They had other markers. Okay. This is why when Malcolm X's father and family were run out of, where were they at that time? Maybe East Lansing, either East Lansing and no, I think they were still in Omaha at this. They knew who the riders were. If you read the accounts from the family, from Malcolm, I was using a famous example. They knew who the people were who they thought blew up the home. If you all remember the story, remember Malcolm X's home got firebombed in an eerie sort of earlier resonance for his home being firebombed back in later in 1965. Okay. So that was the point. A lot of Klansmen today, if you go and they will literally interview with the hood on and their face out. We can move on. Anybody that thinks the Klan and the Heritage Foundation are the same, which was the original point,
That was
disagree.
never the point. You
You
keep making that point,
said.
but I did not say that. I tried to clear it
You
up.
said
That's
they're the
not the
same
point. I didn't say they were the
thing.
same organization. I never said they were the same organization. I
You said they were
cleared
the
that up.
same
I
thing.
explained it. And you guys are still making that point, and you say you're going to move on, but stop making the point that I just told you I did not make. And for the record, in terms of secrecy, just for historical points for the room, as you would say, right? The Klan's intention was secrecy. Did some people in communities know who certain people were? Yes. But they've always wanted to hide their identity for the
They
obvious
didn't
reasons.
always wear masks, sir.
No,
Did
You
no,
get
no,
me
no, no.
did
wrong.
they
Hey,
always
hey,
have
hey, hey,
the
listen. Let me finish. Let me finish. You keep misquoting me and then making an assessment on what you think I said as opposed to what I said. I didn't say they all always wore masks. I said their intention was always secrecy,
It was
and some.
not.
Oh,
When the
Jesus.
Klan
So
showed up at 1 second after the 15th Amendment was passed in 1870,
okay,
and
go ahead.
black men the next national election would have been 72, and the next presidential would have been, let's see, 64, 72. Oh yeah, 72 was when Grant was reelected in 72. There are accounts all throughout the South, Klans people showing up in suits. Eric Foner writes about this. I'm sure you read it because you're the great philosopher and intellectual. And of course, that's the authoritative account on Reconstruction. And Du Bois writes about it in Black Reconstruction, but less so than Foner. The people showed up. There were attorneys general, lieutenant governors, mayors who were in the Klan who gave speeches at the rallies. It was not secrecy if you were a governor and openly in the Klan.
Okay. So I think you have a problem with logical fallacies. Just because one thing exists, that means something else couldn't happen. So just so you know, they're not mutually exclusive. Both things could happen at the same time, right? The Klan
Okay.
could have an intention of secrecy, and certain Klans members can be public. So you're arguing and using a whole bunch of words to say
So
something that
so
doesn't
what were
even
they trying to
prove
keep secret then?
the racism, maybe.
The Klan was trying to
their
keep their
racism?
racism secret.
I'm
Okay, so
about
who?
to
No, hold on a second. You're missing
That
the
was a
point.
marketing tool for them. Like,
This
So
app
hold on a
is
second. Let me just see your
insane.
point because it might not be worth it. So your point is that the Klan only wore robes for ceremonial purposes, and they didn't want to. They had no intentions of being secret. Is that what your point is?
My point is that the Ku
Oh,
Klux
oh
Klan,
my
depending on
Jesus.
which version.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can you mute up while I'm speaking? Mute up while you're speaking. Thank you. My point is the Ku Klux Klan, depending on which era, which location, because it was different locations, some wore hoods, some did not. Point is, their intentions were always clear, and people in neighborhoods generally knew who was in the Klan. When Klan members perpetrated crimes, they might wear hoods there because they wouldn't want their identity revealed because they were perpetrating crimes. But the idea that they were trying to be secret, because you just said they were keeping their racism secret. Now that was even dumber than saying that the Heritage Foundation and the
Well,
Muslim.
look, buddy. I
Come
don't
on,
know
man. I
what.
didn't even. Can you stay off mute on mute,
But
please?
you stop making. You said stuff is dumb. Just say you disagree. Man, why does it? What is your intellectual insecurity, sir? Did you fail college? What's going on with you? You
I
keep
did.
calling.
Actually,
You
I
keep
did.
call. Don't can you make it a practice as a of
I
decorum
did.
not to call
You're right.
differing opinions dumb or moronic, and just say your shit, bro. You don't know
You
everything.
said the
You're
Clay
just, you're
Cuss
out here
Klan.
like a smart ass like you, the encyclopedia know everything. Just say that you differ with someone's opinion, and make your little long-winded intellectual ass point. Obviously, the room has respect for you, but it's
You
just
said
stupid that you keep making these points like you're the foremost authority in all things human. You
you
got to
said that
you
the
you just said what you keep misquoting me. So if you're going to use my words, say the right thing. It's a disrespect and a disservice to the people in the room listening if you keep misquoting me to make yourself look good. Just say your point and say you disagree. Learn how to disagree respectfully is what you need to learn.
you said the Klan was trying to hide its racism. Now you're laughing like Travis.
Oh my! I don't know, Travis, man. I'm laughing at your. Maybe Travis thinks you say some idiotic things too. Then, so if my laughter is like Travis, I take it as a compliment. But the Klan was literally a secret organization, and they did meet in secret. Yes, they were doing criminal things in secret, and so we both can be right. You're just saying that. Look, hey man, and some of them stood in broad daylight with their racism, with their crimes, with their subjugation, with the Confederacy, with their everything that you just said, from
With the
Reconstruction on, no
Confederacy.
matter who the authority is.
You said with the Confederacy?
I call Confederates a specific thing. You keep getting caught up on
That's
these
what I'm
names.
asking.
Oh
What do you call
Lord.
Confederates?
Yeah,
What do you call
okay.
Confederates?
Oh my Jesus. You're just trying to
I'm
find some
asking.
Hey
point
Doc,
to
how
make,
you
right?
doing?
What do you call Confederates?
Happy Sunday.
You know what?
Do you
Just
say like neo Confederates? No, I would agree with you. Who are you calling Confederates? I'm asking. We're building now.
so we're building. We're past the point we just went through.
Yeah, because anybody that says that the Klan was trying to keep their racism in secret, I can't build on that point.
Okay, good. I got you. So don't build on that point with anyone. Okay,
All right.
so
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 who
so
what do you call Confederates then?
So when I use the terminology Confederate, I'm talking about a way of life that wanted to subjugate African American people, that wanted rights. If you Google
Mm.
Confederacy and Google it over the period of time, it's evolved, but it's the same thing. Right now, some of the goals that this administration with Project 25, the organization, the think tank that you're discussing, they're literally accomplishing some of the long-standing goals of the Confederacy, which was always states' right, breaking up the federal organization so that they can do what they want to and manipulate capitalist systems in a different way. So the way of life of this group of people that has a specific, as your word, ideology, whichever one you said, this is what I refer to as the Confederacy. The history of that group that fought against the Union in the Civil War. The lost cause of those people who basically put statues up and tried to whitewash the Confederacy and all of their ill intent and say that it wasn't about slavery when it was. Those organizations, all of these entities, I'm speaking to their similarity in mission and objective. Are we clear?
All right. So what do you make of people who were pro states' rights and all that you said before the formation of the Confederates? What would you call them?
Before the formation of the Confederacy that was for state rights? What period of
Mhm.
time are you talking about? Give me the years.
From the beginning of the nation, like
Give me
Thomas
so
Jefferson.
so just
I'm
years
about to answer the
specifically.
question, bro. You gotta
Okay,
chill
go ahead.
out. Come on, man. You gotta chill out. So
Okay.
there had been a debate in the constitutional conventions and the founding of America where there were people more states' rights and federal. So this is the whole Jefferson Hamiltonian schism. Hamilton wanted a much stronger centralized government. He wanted a central bank. We did have a Bank of America. We had two of them. I think the second one ended with a states' rights guy named Andrew Jackson in the 1830s. There were the Virginians who were president, especially Jefferson and Madison, were very states' rightsy. You had the nullification crisis later on. You had a lot of people who preferred states' rights and the Ninth and Tenth Amendments over a strong federal centralized government before the Confederacy. I mean, this, so you ask the years, I guess, if you say the United States ratified the Constitution, what, 1788, 1787, 88. Washington is inaugurated in what, March of 1789? I'm doing, someone can correct me. I would say from the beginning. So yes, what time period? From the revolutionary or post-revolutionary era, early national founding, 1788, 1789, constitutional convention, first and second constitutional conventions, all the way through, say, 1860. Before the first secession in 1860, I think it was December of 1860, the South Carolina seceded. But someone can correct me on my history if I'm wrong. I mean, and to more to the point, the like big massive central government is really a relic of the Civil War. In fact, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, and it's more of a Lincolnian post-Lincoln phenomena, and it abated a bit, and then picked up even more steam in the 20th century after post World War II. So the United, in fact, you can go back and read accounts of early Americans who, in their diaries, would say things like, I know what it means to be from Worcester. I don't know what it means to be from Massachusetts, but what is this American thing?" They actually had very little relationship to the federal government, which is why there was no actual definition, strong, settled definition of, say, what a national citizen was before the 1850s, 1860s. So the entire early American pre-Civil War period was concentrated on the question of states' rights.
I don't know if this is a frontal cortex measuring contest or if there's a real point that you're making here with asking what the history of the Confederacy and states' rights are. So, is there an actual point that you're trying to get to?
Yeah, the
Because
point what
you
you
not
asked
trying to
me,
be funny. You get kind of long
you
winded on
asked me the
stuff.
period, you asked me the period when before the Civil War, states' rights was an issue, and I was explaining to you quite clearly in a, I would say, an intro to U.S. history kind of way at the
Yeah,
college
yeah,
level.
yeah. I hear you.
But let me
You're
just answer. I'm
lecturing.
answering, bro. I'm answering your question. I
I
was
hear you.
explaining to you that it all was before the Confederacy. The whole state. That's what I'm saying. Hamilton versus Jefferson. Are you
Okay, whoa,
familiar
whoa,
with
whoa, whoa. I
theirs?
heard all of those spaces. So you're just
No.
saying,
Do you know about their debates? Do you know
look,
about
look.
the American
Oh,
system?
Jesus Christ!
I'm
I
asking.
took a history class too. But okay, okay, cool. You
So
took a
you don't
history.
know what they are.
Oh my G. So yeah, hold on one second. So look,
I'll meet up.
you get caught up in your ego is so huge. I hope the room can stand you on a regular basis if they're talking to you all the time, right? I hear you. You got some history notes. Who cares? The issue isn't for me isn't your capacity to capture knowledge or information. How do you synthesize the information? And that's where I think you're short.
I
Uh,
did. I said, so Hamilton versus Jefferson. Just
okay,
Google
listen.
Hamilton versus
Okay,
Jefferson. It was
look.
strong
I'm
central
saying no.
government versus
I'm
states'
saying I
rights.
understand your memorization is pretty good from your history lessons. I'm saying your capacity to synthesize the information. Listen to what I mean. I'm asking you, right? The reason I asked you the question of the years is because it's just was wondering what the hell the question is about because we're having a whole different conversation. You're asking me to basically prove my knowledge of the Confederacy and states' rights. The point I made
And
originally
you
is
asked
to
me to
make
do that.
okay, hold on a second, stop interrupting me. The point I
I
made
apologize.
originally when I came in is that these conversations that we have in these groups, they lack nuance and context, right? So you're trying to make a case for why states' rights precedes a certain period of the formation, quote unquote, of the Confederacy.
Correct.
That wasn't my point, though. You
It
get
was your
lost in
point.
so you get lost in the data a little bit because you're trying to be too smart with your little ego
No,
all
no,
the
hold on, CEO, real quick, just
time.
to back up before we move on,
Go ahead.
because you're getting a lot of ad hominem attacks now.
Well,
So
that's because you've been doing that the whole time.
I know, but I
And I
stopped.
don't even know if you realize it. And so people probably take
I
that
got it.
bullshit, but I'm not the one.
I got it. So, okay. You what you called the people before the Confederate, because you said this is what you call Confederates. I said, cool. What would you call the people before? And you said who before was in the states' rights. I was answering your question.
Okay, so you're
So would you
asking me
call,
what
hold
do
on,
I
bro. So
call
let
the
me
people
continue.
before Confederacy?
Yes. So would you call them Jeffersonians? Would you say proto-Confederates? Like
I
what
would
would you call Jefferson?
I would
What would you
call
call
them
Thomas Jefferson?
people for the sake of this conversation that I don't give a fuck about right now because it's just irrelevant. It's just
No, it
you.
is.
It's
Wait
you
a
frontal
minute. Hold on,
cortex
bro.
measuring. Like what's
Hold on,
the
bro.
point?
Hold on, bro. This has nothing to do with the frontal cortex. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Yeah, I'm just saying what's the point that you're making is
Because if you're calling the Heritage Foundation people and the Trump administration Confederates, and then I say, what do you count as a Confederate?
and
So
I
cool.
explained it to you.
And you call them Confederate.
No,
So
okay. So
I'm saying, do you use that
actually,
term for
that's not what I
everybody?
said. I don't
You
know
did
why
say
you're.
the Trump, bro.
Hold on one
No,
second.
no, no, you
Hold on
hold
one
on,
second. No,
hold
no,
on.
no.
You
Let me
just
tell you before you jump to conclusions again. Let me.
bitch ass up to conclusions. Now, these pseudo. If you scroll up, Christian Lamar quoted you in the chat. Did he delete it? This administration is Confederacy. You said 6 minutes ago. The brother quoted you in the chat with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laughies. So you did say that. He thinks that states' rights popped up with the Confederacy. And now his mind is blown because he didn't know that was the major source of argument before the Confederacy. So I'm asking you, what would you call Thomas Jefferson? Jeffersonian, proto-Confederate, Confederate? That's the point. And for the Otis and Gad and brother people, it's not hitting. And with this guy, it's not hitting.
I know.
I mean, with a guy that says that the Klan had to keep their racism in secret, you tell him to get on my ass, it's not gonna hit with this guy. I'm sorry, y'all. Like you can do that with other people. It's not working on this one. He literally said that terrorizing and burning crosses was not terror. Stop hitting with this guy. I can't bring him back up. I brought him up twice, so some model have to bring him up.
Yeah.
Mod me, I'll bring him up.
Oh God. Um,
I
yeah,
mean, we all just heard him suggest that states' rights. I mean, who was doing states' rights? He suggested that the Confederacy started that. He doesn't know basic American history, Hamilton versus Jefferson. He could Google it. He's Googled it by now. Now he realizes, oh my God, Jefferson was states' rights.
I did not say that that's who start the Confederacy started states right.
That's
Now
exactly what you
you keep
suggested. I said you
misquoting me.
suggested it. I said you suggested it. Do you know what suggest means? Okay, Travis.
oof,
You have a way of manipulating people's word to make yourself look good, my man.
oof.
Okay, dokie. We'll bring up DAP, who says he agreed. That's the only point he disagrees with CO on. We'll bring DAP up to tell us about how the Klan tried to keep their racism in secret.
You're missing the point. I didn't say the Klan is keeping the racism secret.
Gold, hold on, Gold. I'm not gonna waste my energy on you. That's what I said in the chat, and I'm sticking to it. I don't gotta
Oh, then
explain
take your
myself
bitch
to
ass
you.
back down then.
Then do that, bitch ass. Do it.
Okay.
Draw me.
In fact, I'll just kick you out and block you for fucking life.
No, he came in hot.
He came in hot. I put in the chat because I believe that, like being specific matters. Um, that there was a move in the great state of North Carolina by Bob Jones to actually make the Klan a powerful voting bloc. And so one of the things that they did was he staged, and I just posted it. It was about 10 minutes ago. He staged street walks to show the quote human side of Klan members and to prove that his Klan had nothing to hide. Um, and you see them, and there's a video that's attached to the that's associated with the link, where you actually see them doing campaigns. Like there are also moments where journalists, in the 1920s, were talking about outing themselves as Klan members in their columns, right? Like not everyone was hiding it. um, some of the initial uses of the white robes were like because they wanted like the appeal of like a spectral image, like of being a ghost. Like there was a lot, sort of pageantry in the scaring and the terrorizing of people. um and so that imagery resonated with them. Like it wasn't necessary. What do I know? I'll mute up. Who cares about facts?
And just as a note, to out yourself means that you were previously secretive. If you read anything about the Klan, if you even just Google it, a simple Google
Sir.
search will say that will tell you that it was organized as a secret society, a secret organization. That's always been the word. So why someone would logically disagree with the way that the group has been mentioned throughout history is just beyond me.
So so the Divine Nine are quote secret organizations. Would you agree or not? Do they meet in secret? Do they do things that people don't know about? Do they have symbologies? Do they have rituals that people don't know about?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Oh my God. If you are one of the nine, oh my God, I can't continue this line of questioning.
Okay, I'm a part of a lot of organizations.
Okay.
You know which one he is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, take that.
I
Yeah.
refuse to take the risk. I know
No,
it's
take that,
not,
take
but
that.
I
Yeah.
refuse to risk it. I'm not going to risk it.
Sir, do you greet people with your thumb and pinky? I'll go on mute.
Okay. I've just never heard anybody say that the Klan was keeping their racism secret. I just never heard that. Ever.
And I never heard somebody so obsessed with misquoting people that their
That's what
ego
you
needs to be
said, bro.
fixated.
Oh my God, bro. Come on,
Okay,
man.
but you're missing the point. So hold on a second though. Even if you got a nation of 51% of the people that elected Donald Trump president, and this dude
Definitely not
has had
51%. He didn't get 51%,
well,
but I take
whatever
your
the
point.
number is, let's say 50%, whatever.
He
You
didn't
get
get
the
50,
point,
but I
right?
take your point.
So what I'm saying is, him and Fox News, they lie all day, every day about everything in the world, and you're caught up with me missing some context clue because they said the Klan and their racism wants to be secret. I'm just saying the people within the Klan wanted to keep the fact that they were overt, extreme racists a secret. It's
Okay.
you're changing every word to make points. I don't know if you're just trying to buy time or what,
So
but you
what you
know,
just said makes
yeah.
sense. There were
But
people who
so
no, that's different than the organization because the original point was about the Klan and the Heritage Foundation. So we're talking about institutional entities, not individuals. I'm in
yeah,
groups that I don't want people to know about, including my children. That doesn't mean the
okay,
groups are secret. I'm in the Monday morning scatology group. I don't want
okay,
my children to know that, but it's
okay,
an open group.
okay.
That's different than saying the group
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I'm
secret.
just saying, but do you understand that I'm telling you that you keep missing points and then making a point about the point that you miss? So I'm saying,
I mean,
so
I
for
mean
me,
this with all due
with all due
respect.
respect, all you
Okay,
have
go
to
ahead.
do is get clarity. Like, let's say hypothetically,
Okay,
right? I'm a decently intelligent human. Like, let's say if I use the
okay.
wrong word, just say, "Hey, man, did you mean this?" But I'm saying for you to drag on and waste people's time for an hour when I've told you what I mean, you might misspeak sometimes, right?
And if I do,
I'm
I'm
assuming that you do, right?
okay.
All you do is just say, "Hey, is that what you
You're
meant?" And you keep
rambling
going.
again, man. You gotta let somebody else get in.
I don't ramble, my man. I say stuff that is true. Just because you disagree with it and
But
you're
you can
emotional and
ramble and say things that are true.
well,
Rambling doesn't mean you're
let's
not telling the truth.
no,
See what
listen
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
You're very
Just,
imprecise with your language and you
but
think you're precise.
but my precision is relative to the listener. You, on the other hand, think you're saying something, but you take an hour to say shit, and you don't even really
Okay,
say
you're
stuff.
being meta. The point was is you saying there were people who didn't want to know others were in it.
No, that's
Cool.
not the point. The point I was making is that you're on some bullshit, attacking
Let's go to
everybody else,
all right,
and
all right, let's do this.
you don't let people
Let's do
respond to
this.
you.
Let's do
What I'm
it. Let's
saying
do
is
this.
you
Me and
keep
you won't talk
attacking
about
other
each other.
people. Give the respect that you're demanding is all I'm saying. So no, speaking, I'll just go back to the point with the states' rights. No matter what the history of or what you know whether it started and whether it's Hamiltonian or Jeffersonian or who did it, whether it started in '87 or what year, the point I was making was a little bit more specific. I was just saying the concepts of states' rights traditionally was not about states' rights, and I was just saying that because the Confederacy and the Conservative and Republican Party dismiss slavery and chattel slavery as the objective of the Confederacy, and they say it was just states' rights, but that's not the truth. So that was me saying the same thing that I said from the beginning of the conversation. A
May
lot of
I
times,
respond?
a lot of times, I'll finish real quick. A lot of times we're litigating things that aren't the real discussion, or as you said, aren't the main thing for what it was worth. So I was just saying quickly here that states' rights, right, was something that they use, but the real objective at that particular time that I'm referring to was slavery. And I'm saying similarly, the conservative party has done some of the same things where you think their goal is really rights, but it's something a little bit more insidious.
May I respond? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the Confederacy never, ever, ever denied that their cause was about the perpetuation of the institution of chattel slavery. Ever,
That's not true.
ever. I am currently, see how I didn't interrupt him? The Confederacy I'm talking about. I'm not talking about lost causers later on who might have lied and was getting gobbledygook. I'm literally, because I'm reading the South Carolina, who was the first one and most important because that's where Fort Sumter was attacked. Declaration of Secession. The Declaration of Secession was in December of 1860. Of course, they did it after Lincoln was elected. Before then, the vice president of the Confederacy became the vice president, Alexander Stevens, cornerstone speech. The Confederacy always talked about slavery as their raison d'etre. And if anybody would like to see what I'm talking about, you can Google the Declaration of Secession of South Carolina and the other states. If you read newspapers, it was all over the news of places like South Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia and more. For the Confederacy, they always talked about slavery.
I would just, for a debate, I would just suggest that you look up logical fallacies, because you use always and never in ways that you can't substantiate, right? So you can't substantiate the Confederacy always talked about slavery, right? You can't say that the Confederacy never spoke about anything but slavery, because it's
I
just
didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying. Your
okay.
claim was that the Confederates use states' rights as a screen to hide their true intention, which was the perpetuation of chattel slavery. And what I'm saying is, in their documents and speeches, in their war cries and their efforts, their symbology, etc., slavery was at the core of it. It was they called it, and I mean this respectfully, the cornerstone of their entire project. Hence Alexander Stevens' very famous cornerstone speech. Now, I will apologize in advance for citing actual documents and actual Confederates, and I will let you win the argument who hasn't cited anything from the period. So you might be right. Me using the documents and actual figures and their words, that's probably my fault. We should just go by what you're saying with no data, no documents, and no evidence. So I apologize. CEO's
or,
right. We
or
can move on.
or you can use logic, which says because you say something happened doesn't mean that something else didn't happen. That's a logical fallacy. That's what I'm saying. You're not really shrewd with debate. Let me just explain to you briefly. I can Google whatever. Just because you're able to Google on a smartphone, that doesn't kind of sort of connote of
Bro, are you
stupid.
gonna address him specifically about the actual conversation, or are you gonna do this sort of meta thing? Like, why don't
Or
you disprove him with like facts
because
or
I don't, I don't,
information?
I don't, I don't feel like Googling for a bunch of lazy people that
Okay,
can't
well
Google.
then why
Oh,
talk about why not have the actual conversation?
Wh-
So you don't actually want to do the thing. It could be very easy.
Yeah, but
If it's
I mean,
so easy to
you,
Google, you
so,
could do
so,
it.
so I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to prove anything.
Then what are
Maybe
you
you got,
here to do?
to have.
That's what he's here to do. He's done. That's it. That's it. You think, I mean, this is him. He thinks I'm Googling because I know basic American history at, say, an introduction to Civil War history level.
to be fair, Goat, he said he wasn't going to Google for people who could Google. I think he meant the audience. And I, I think that was an admission that he was his information from Google. I don't think he was suggesting you were reading Google.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. I mean, it's just that I've never heard that the Confederates used states' rights to cover up that it was about slavery. The Confederates, neo-Confederates, lost causers, especially in the literature, some of the historiography. C. Van Woodward, no, I'm not C. Van Woodward. He did a little bit, but what was the guy's name that people know? Uh, Foot, Selby Foot, I think is his name. They could do some of that
Yeah.
romanticism.
Shelby Foot. C.
Call it the
Fan Woodward
Shelby
did a little bit
Steele.
though.
Yeah, he did it.
What?
You can, no, not Shelby
Monica,
Foot.
stay on mute.
Paula Dean did a version of
Shelby
it.
Steele, she said.
But the Confederates,
Oh wow.
the vice president of the Confederate literally laid out in 1861. Alexander Stephen. that slavery was the cornerstone of their project. I mean, you know what? Let me Google it because
No,
I want to give the actual quote. No, I want to give an actual quote.
okay. But can I just say this? Imagine being afraid to say that you want to defend slavery, but willing to like secede from the Union and go to war, right? And kill other people, but you don't want to admit that slavery has anything to do with it. Like that's just wild to me. Like they had to keep that part secret, but they were willing
Yeah.
to go to war.
Let me read this quote. Our new government is founded exactly upon the opposite idea, that is, all men created equal. Our new government is founded exactly the opposite idea. Its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and normal condition. This, our new government, is the first in the history of the world based upon this great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. Not only slavery is the cornerstone of the Confederacy, not only is he saying the Negro was naturally inferior and therefore should be enslaved, but he's making a world historical claim that they will be the first government, i.e., the Confederacy, upon which those two foundations rest upon those two claims. It is respectfully, the claim that CO was making could not be more wrong about the Confederacy. He says is the first in the history of the world based upon this great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. This is the cornerstone speech. Our new government is our new government's foundations are laid. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, and that slavery, subordination to the superior race, is his natural and normal condition. Who can hide from that? Who's using state rights to cover that up? But again, I apologize because I'm using the actual words of the Confederates and not some debate bro thing that I got from watching four George Peterson videos.
That again though that you're reading some rando.
This is the vice president of the Confederacy. So he'd be the number two. His name
Oh,
was
damn.
Alexander H. Stevens. So again,
Okay.
this guy doesn't know
Damn
about the Confederacy, but CO does. The vice president of the Confederacy, who lays out what the Confederacy is doing. I can do some Jefferson Davis speeches too, but the vice president is telling what the Confederacy is about. But CO is telling you that they were using states' rights, that they were really interested in slavery.
Oh man, y'all put the guy down.
I'm now going to move to the Confederate Constitution. The Confederate Constitution. Uh, hold on, let's see. It enshrines. Hold on, let's see. Let me get the actual. Oh, exactly. Wait, this is not it. Where's the text? I just want to get one more example. The Confederate Constitution. Because remember, he said they were hiding it under states' rights. This is what he said. Okay, here we go. Article 4. It explicitly upholds slavery, the property in slavery, and that the quote, the right and property in said slave shall not thereby be impaired. This is the Constitution that they adopted. They adopted this Constitution in 1861, in March of 1861. Slavery is all throughout. But according to CO, The Confederacy was hiding their interest in slavery behind the talk of states' rights. Y'all got it. This is my last time. I always say it's my last time. That's my last time. It's just hard to listen to a black man say that the Klan and the Heritage Foundation are the same, and that terrorizing and burning crosses on people's lawns was not terrorist, was not terrorism, and that the Klan tried to keep their racism secret. The institution. They had recruiting parades, brother told us about. They had public lynchings after church. The Klan literally advertised newspapers for new members. They still do that today. If you live in the South in small local papers, the Klan will have advertisements. Come to the rally. What do you call it? Meet and greet. Informational sessions. They literally advertise for meet and greets in the newspaper. But this is the man who knows names of people who are in the Heritage Foundation of the Klan, but won't say here. If he knew that, he could go to Simon and Schuster, Norton, Penguin, and they would give him $1 million book deal now to expose those people. But he gonna keep it in with his 1,600 followers. All right, stage is open. People can come up and we'll do pseudo round two. It's gonna be a pseudo day. Once the tone is set like that, you just know what kind of day it's gonna be.
It's Sunday. This is the day that the pseudo has made. Let them up.
Let us hotep and rejoice in
Yes.
it.
You know this the day they come out.
I got a good 5 hours in the office. Yeah, here we are. Here we are. To get there is you and I. Oh, you make it clear it's true. Let's see the
Yeah, you need to bring
words.
them back up. They cussing you out in the comments.
Uh-oh. He can come back up. Bring up Maya. I'm mad at her because she don't vote. I've been telling that girl to vote for years and that girl don't vote. So she know I'm mad at her. I remember her from before. No, he can come back up. You just gotta stop cutting people off. Bring him back up, Jess. I can't bring him back up. But we're
Okay.
gonna do. We're gonna stop doing no more back. We're not gonna talk about individuals. We're gonna do debate, bro. Let's just stay on topic. I promise I won't do that either. So we're gonna stay on topic, the topic, but we're not gonna talk about me. We're not gonna talk about you. I won't characterize your points. He won't characterize mine. That's the rules going forward. Right? I'll stop. So I apologize. We'll move on. We don't need to talk about it. CO, you can
I'm
argue anything
inviting
you want to.
all the disgruntled people in the comments.
Maya, you should vote so you can get a. You
I'm
should vote so you can get a
disgruntled.
COVID
Yes,
shot. You
I'm
should vote so you
definitely
should get. You.
disgruntled.
Let me tell you why you should vote. Because you get a
You called me
Krispy
a
Kreme.
nigger bitch, so after
Me?
that, I kind of lost respect for you. So
No, I didn't.
yes, you did in Lose Room. You were
Did
mad at
no
me
such
about
thing.
something. Yes, you
Oh my
did.
I
God.
did no
What?
such thing. Now you're just
Mhm.
lying.
And you up here
Girl,
trying to
get out of here with
advocate
that.
like you really care about equality and racial shit. You don't care
Oh, I don't
about
care
that
about
stuff
equality. I never said that.
or whatever he was spitting about.
Why would I call you an N-word B and not even black?
Hmm. I am black. What?
No, you're not. Your name is Maya Ming.
My name is Maya.
It's Maya Ming.
It's Maya. Like, why are you adding an extra?
Because there's an I there.
It's Maya,
Oh, then that's spelled the Asian way.
the Asian.
Yeah, Maya. like Mai Tai.
Oh,
That's how you spell Mai Tai or Mai Ling.
oh. So are you gonna apologize for calling me a nigger bitch?
No, I didn't, but I'll apologize for the person
You
that did.
did. Why would I lie about that?
I don't even use that phrase.
Right? Why did he call
Man.
you that? What?
Allegedly.
We were in Lou's room. I don't know if you were familiar with Lou's rooms, but they get kind of crazy. And I don't know what the topic was, but he was mad about whatever I said, and he called. Wait,
That's
I
isn't
don't
fucked
that
think
up.
I've
this is goat? Ain't this goat?
it is. I don't
Ain't
think
there's
I've
only
ever
one goat on
used
the
that.
app?
Yeah.
Like the hell,
But maybe somebody else. I don't think I've ever used that phrase in life. It's not even witty.
honey? I wouldn't even. I don't have no reason. I mean, I know I'd be high as fuck, but I don't have no reason to lie. You know.
So how you know it was me?
Cause you're the only goat. Cause I usually fuck with you, even though you get like opposing shit from most people in Lou's room. I usually be like agreeing with you, but then I guess you didn't like what I said one day, and you called me a nigger
Watch
bitch.
this. What were we talking about?
I don't remember. It was one of those intense Lou's room topics.
And you're a Democratic shill like me, and we always agree. Why would I call you that? No one in here's ever
You
heard me
just
use
got
that
mad.
phrase.
Everyone keeps saying they never heard it. My ears do work, y'all.
No, no, but I'm
Y'all
saying
be in the chat dick sucking. My
no, no, no,
ears
no.
do
Hold
work.
on, hold on, Maya. What I'm saying
Like
is we could
the
have been,
fuck?
people could have been back and forth. You know, those rooms get
Just
crazy.
because hold
Somebody,
on, but
hold on, bro.
that's a fallacy.
Hold on, Maya.
Just because someone
Maya,
didn't
hold on.
witness or hear something doesn't mean that person never did it. That's
That's
a
true.
super duper huge
It
fallacy. So
is.
all y'all in
But
the chat saying,
hold on,
"Oh,
Maya.
I never saw him do it. I didn't
Hold on,
see him
hold
do
on.
it to me."
Hold on, Maya.
Motherfucker, you
Hold on,
didn't
Maya.
experience it, but that don't negate my experience. The
Hold on,
fuck?
Maya. Hold on, Maya.
Y'all got
It's
me
also
fucked up.
hold on, Maya. It's also possible because those rooms get crazy that many people talk at a time, and I was talking, and someone said he thought it was me. You are,
No, it was
especially.
you.
Come on, girl. You got hold on a
Your
second.
voice is so
Come on,
distinct.
girl.
Like
Come on,
I'm not
hold on. You let me
retarded,
finish.
honey.
Hold on. I have a vote. Hold on. Well, my voice may be distinct, but I have at least two doppelgangers. So much so that there's a person who, when they come on the app, they think it's me. For a long time, people thought that the what was it? Pure. Forgot what the name was, but I did not call you that. What was the name of that one person? Uh, sounds like that was Cappuccino.
Wafi said cappuccino.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how
Cappuccino was
Yeah,
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino's voice sounds? How would I confuse
Yeah,
your
yeah,
voice
yeah,
with
yeah,
Cappuccino's?
yeah. People thought, yeah, goat was
Cappuccino sounds like a
cappuccino.
What
tranny. Like,
can we
hello?
find Maya? Can nice to meet you. I used to mob with you and lose spaces.
Nice to meet
Um,
you.
but from this day, March 23rd, 2025, can we call it a truce? He said he apologized. He doesn't believe he said that, but can we possibly just move forward in good spirit and good faith?
Sure, we can move forward.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Anyway, yeah, it is a beautiful thing. I don't know why y'all brought my up. My I didn't have any issues with, but let's CEO do his
Because I
let's
was
CEO
talking
do his
shit in
thing.
the chat. That's why.
What were you talking about?
You.
I was talking shit about you in the
What
chat.
did I say? What did you say about me? Maya knows I love her, and she knows that she is perfect, except she doesn't vote.
I'll
Aren't
never
you in law school?
I'll never vote.
I
Not
want you
yet.
to vote for
I'm
me,
still
girl.
I'm still studying for the LSAT, so not
Okay.
The
yet.
girl, that's what I'm saying. This girl is a perfect. I mean, she spells her name wrong, but outside of that, she doesn't
My
vote. She's
mom
otherwise
spelled
perfect.
it.
I
The
know because she's an
hell?
Asian woman. She's from Thailand. Taka taka ta. But you need to vote, girl. Look, you've been hitting me in the back channel to take you to dinner. Told you I have a woman and all these kids, but if you vote, I'll finally take you to dinner. All right, that's the deal.
I'm vegan, so I don't know.
Oh, vegans don't eat dinner? What's going on? Are you high already? What's going on?
No, most people don't really like to eat at vegan restaurants. So,
Damn, Maya, do you date gay man?
gay men.
Oh, Lord, Jeff's about to come in.
That is crazy. Who said that? Oh,
Oh, Lord.
You're a very pretty
what
woman.
the? Thank you.
She's the perfect woman, except she doesn't vote. She has this weird thing in her brain about voting. I blame the weed. That's why you should hang out with Just, because you both are weed
Blame the
addled.
weed.
Y'all
Not
are
too
too
not too much on
intelligent.
weed.
This is the problem with black people. Our smartest blacks, so many of them are into these drugs. Get
This is
off
not a
the
drug.
weed. Okay, I
Weed
told you it
is
was gonna be
there's nothing
pseudo. I
wrong
told
with
you it was gonna be
weed.
pseudo day. Now
I'm
just
actually about to go and grab some.
Yeah.
pseudo
Like
Sunday. Sunday,
From the
pseudo
same
happy
guy,
Go.
Just.
Would you rather
Sunday.
Just, did you
go?
find a new handler?
Would you rather a person like me or Maya, who's a weed head, or a person like Co, who doesn't smoke weed, and it's just like that on? No, no shade to you, Co. I'm just fucking with you. But what would you rather?
I refuse to answer the question.
Wait, what was the question?
Right.
Don't
Never
ask it,
mind.
Just.
Yeah.
Just, did you find a new handler?
What?
Are you going back to the same person?
For what? Oh no. Oh, the queen. Yeah, I got to.
Mm.
He's close, but I just he just you ever met somebody that's just like nosy, like always ask you questions, and you like, sir, we don't know each other like that. Like, stop. You really don't even have to like have like casual convo with me. He was like, oh, do you work for BMW? I was like, can you just give me my weed? Like, why are you asking me where I work? The fuck? Yeah, his weed be good, so I'm gonna go back. I just usually like to avoid talking to him. I always be like, "Can you leave it under the mat? I'm in a rush."
That's hilarious. I just do edibles now mainly.
I want to switch over to that.
Yeah, it's better for your lungs
Yeah,
and your all that other stuff.
Sunday, bloody
You don't like edibles, Scotty?
Sunday.
No, I think they're insidious, and we should go back to regular flower weed and get rid of edibles except for medical.
Oh, interesting.
I had only one edible that really gave me like a good effect, and I ordered it from like some site. But I guess because I smoke regular blunts, edibles don't really be doing that much.
They're too inconsistent, and people pop them like it's no big deal, but I don't think they're good for our
And then
society.
the way they hit you,
Oh, the way I hit you, I
they'll
mean,
be
I took.
driving down the street and it just
No,
boom.
I you got to microdose. I microdose
Yeah, but like you could
because
have
you can
one gummy
control your high.
that's.
No, you don't. That's the thing. You don't. Well, at least I don't take one full gummy. Like I just bite little pieces
But
of
they're
it.
all different. You could have one gummy that's 5 milligrams, or one gummy the same size that's 20. I took 120, and I was fighting for my life for four
Yeah, you're
hours.
not supposed to take 80 milligrams at one in one sitting.
I was
I
fighting for my life.
I did that too. I ate
yeah,
one.
you have to microdose. You can't just be taking a whole bunch of
For my
edible because
life.
I did a donut, and the girl was like, "Be careful because the butter that we use
it was weed
is like,
butter.
yeah." She was like, and she was like, the way that dough is, it absorbs a lot of it. She was like, I was like, oh no, I'm a smoker, like I'm good. She was like, yeah, but still be careful. But I just ate the donut and jumped on the road. Man, 20 minutes hit. I could barely get up on the
You were
exit.
on the right lane.
Yo, I was like, what the hell?
That's
White
And I called
knuckling,
her.
funny.
white
She
knuckling.
was like, you okay, baby? I was like, hello. She was like, you okay, baby? I was like, what is this? She was like, I told you. She was like, you ate that whole donut and just ran out of here. She was like, you should have sat down.
But see, at least you knew. My this chick gave me a pineapple upside down cake, and I didn't
Oh
even
my.
know that there was weed in there, and that shit was good as fuck. So I ate the whole piece of cake, and then next thing I know, I'm like feeling all weird, and her dude was like, "Oh, she didn't tell you?" I'm like, "Tell me what?" And he was like, That was a weed cake." I was like, "Ah, shit." I was high for like 4 days.
That's what
Oh my
need to happen to
goodness,
like half of America. Somebody just needs to.
that shit was crazy.
That'll probably be the best day in American history.
I
Everybody.
would have a heart attack. I,
No, you would be laughing. You wouldn't even
I
know
was no, I
what
was
was going
freaking
on.
out because I wasn't expecting it because the bitch didn't tell me it was a weed cake. I'm like, that's fucked up. How you gonna make me
you could
like
sue
what?
people for that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think
You
about
sure
it at the
can.
time. I was just so high and frustrated. I just But that was fucked up though. But whatever.
I want to do mushrooms.
Now we're talking.
Hush up, Just. What is
I
going on?
do.
I never tried mushrooms.
I want to do psychedelic. I tried them one time and I just kept laughing a lot. So I don't think it really, because that's like normal for me. But
My girl passed out at Coachella off of mushrooms. So after that happened, it kind of discouraged me.
How do you pass out off mushrooms?
Well, I
yeah,
mean, we were at a festival. I don't know if you ever heard of Coachella, but it's a big festival and it's in the desert and it's really hot. So maybe
Oh,
the
she
heat,
like passed out, passed out. Okay, got it.
yeah. So maybe the heat mixed with the mushroom high. I don't know.
have y'all heard of that thing called um, ayahuasca? And they say that
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah.
I was watching this thing on Netflix called Chelsea Handler, and she goes and does like, and this one called Chelsea Does Drugs, and she goes and tries ayahuasca. It was intense.
That seems like counter to the whole thing. It's supposed to be some spiritual Amazon uh
Yeah,
led
that's where she went.
thing.
She went
Oh,
to
she
like,
did.
yeah, she
Yeah,
went
but
to like the Andes, and she took it with a shaman and everything, and she did it with like a group of other people, and it was like people who had like real serious like issues, and
boy.
people were saying that like after they take it they don't have like a ego or something anymore. It's very interesting.
I mean, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I
Um,
never taken it, but they give you a bucket to vomit in while you're
Hmm.
taking it. No thanks.
all right. Near the
Yeah,
crack.
Hmm? I'm sorry, First Lady. No, she's better off. Just take fucking LSD and like stop with the nonsense. You don't need a shaman. Go out in nature, touch grass. That's it.
Who's like that?
What's that?
No, nothing. You said somebody is like that?
No, I'm saying
Anyway,
you don't need to
Trump
do all that.
instructs the attorney general to report what he calls frivolous lawsuits. Hey, Hurricane. I have a quick clip
You.
while we regroup for a minute.
Good morning, First Lady. It's great to see
Happy Sunday, my wonderful, amazing, good
girl,
staff.
Hurricane, who is this person?
I'll tell you in a second, but I just came up to deliver the good news on Sunday since it's the Lord's Day. Um,
Mhm.
say no to drugs, y'all. Just say
Amen.
no to drugs. There's been a lot of commentary about using drugs, a lot of encouragement, and so I think to keep the conversation balanced, somebody just needs to say it. Say no to drugs. Don't listen to the people advocating for drug use. All right?
Okay, you don't even drink alcohol.
Girl,
I
who is
know,
the
but I have
person
to
in your
say it. It's
thing?
important.
Scary ass.
I mean, but y'all are
Oh,
adults, do y'all? But somebody needs to say to the
We're
folks in the
talking about
audience.
drugs. Nobody said do crack. We're talking about what
Exactly.
people
oh
did.
Exactly.
God.
Not do
Nobody
crap.
and nobody was even saying do a ayahuasca. I was just saying we seen people do it. I wouldn't do
I
it.
think
Lady,
that
you don't
people
need to do all that.
I don't even
Well,
drink alcohol.
okay. So I don't know who this is in my PTR just 10, but I saw this beautiful Adosian on Facebook and I just had to save the picture so I could share it with y'all. This beautiful Adosian from Mississippi. Okay.
She got cholera.
Oh my God, stop.
Oh,
Or
Jesus.
what's that thing when your eyes be yellow?
Jaundice.
Jaundice,
Jaundice. Hmm.
That is not an
Hepatitis,
African American, sir.
jaundice.
But okay,
She
That's
so
also
definitely
got
not.
okay.
And
alien
If
eyes.
you guys don't want to
she
talk
she
politics,
haven't touched Turtle Island. First lady.
wait, wait, but you know what, just 10? Do you know why? Do you know why she
oh,
has her eyes like that?
whose? This is a
Why?
she.
person in my PTR because the person that smokes weed. That's
No,
why it's like
please.
weed.
No, it's not. Let me show you a weed eye. Hold on one second.
I didn't
That's
see
a
that one
that's a
coming.
crack eye. That's I'm gonna show you a weed eye. That's
Shut
yellow.
up.
She looked like she finna go be in the remake of Thriller.
I just need to correct myself from yesterday since y'all wanted to talk politics. I said that I saw We Are Kings, and that was not a truth by no means necessary. I thought
Huh?
I had not seen it when you mentioned it. I was like, yeah, I saw it. But I clicked on it and I was like, I don't think I've seen this. And I watched it yesterday and that thing was some kind of good. You hear
Talk
me?
What you
about When We Were
watched?
Kings.
Yes.
Oh
When
my
we
Yeah,
were,
yeah,
god,
yeah.
so good.
yeah,
You could watch that once a week. That's how good it is.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Ali, if talking something into existence and psyching yourself up was a person to model, it would be definitely Muhammad Ali. I'm serious. I mean, oh,
period.
amazing, amazing, amazing.
The best Capricorn King.
A beautiful film all around.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
Oh my god.
Did y'all ever see when he went and when he was following Sonny Liston around for like 2 months?
See
And
how they did a documentary on it.
well, yeah, they actually have it on film when it so he wanted to fight Sonny, but Sonny didn't want to fight him, and so he decided to pull up to everywhere Sonny was gonna be, and like you know how he do, and like pick with him, very me. So he pulled up to Sonny was at the casino, and he pulled up, and Sonny was shooting craps or whatever. And so he just pulled up and started cooking him like, like his favorite thing to say about Sonny. And honestly, this is when y'all hear me do this. This is he be like, "You ugly as shit. You the ugliest motherfucker I ever seen." So he just pulled up. He like, "God damn, you ugly in and out." Like he just started cooking Sonny. And Sonny sat there listening for about maybe 10, 15 minutes, pulled the gun out and just started popping in the air. So I guess he had like caught wind that he was going to do that. So he had blanks in the gun. Man, when I tell you Ali scrambled, he got the fuck out. Like he just talking shit and he just took off running. Cause he shot like 5 shots in the air and he ain't even move. He just was and then when Ali ran, he started playing craps again. Funny as shit.
I don't think there was a more charismatic athlete like ever that I ever seen in my life.
That man pulled up. That Sonny was shooting crabs in his own business. He talking about, "Woo, you ugly." That's why you don't want to fight. So, that's why you don't want to fight me. He said, "What's wrong? I can't mess you up no worse. You are ugly."
Boomaye. Boomaye.
Ali boom ba yeah.
That I'm trying to tell you, that was so
It's
the energy
crazy.
was
That
just
energy,
flowing.
yeah.
Yes, man. I'm trying to tell you, that is real. It is real. And
Yeah, that's the type of sporting event I want to go to.
It'll
yes,
never happen.
never
Never.
happen
No.
again.
We'll never see it. I
One
don't think
day
it's
and it's
happened
done.
since then.
They said that
They had the one that next year. Thriller Manila was next year.
they said that dome was a gladiator dome and the
Hmm.
blood
Hmm.
was still, stained there. So just the energy, all of that was just like, and it was probably hot as hell. Oh
They
man.
said ringside 117 degrees.
Good God Almighty.
I would have
Who
sat there in a Canadian goose to watch that.
was
They
at
said when
4 in
they
the morning?
at
It's
like
4 in the
the third
Four in the
morning.
round,
morning.
they said yeah, it's 100. Like, cause ringside get hot with the lights and shit. They said 107. Do you know how much toll that is on the body?
Mm.
Like,
But
yeah,
that's
that's
how we
probably one of the
won.
best sporting events.
That's how we won. And then
Mhm.
and that right, what was it called? The right jab? Oh man, the way
Oh,
he
the right
just
hand
came.
Yeah,
lead.
Yeah, the
The
that
right
right
hand
that
hand.
lead.
Oh my God, the way he seen
and the
the
way he fall back on that
oh
on
my
that back foot,
Yep.
pop your ass and fall back, and you just out of reach, and
It's
it's the way that they would swing, and it's like they would graze, like almost graze his nose or touch his sweat, and he'd just be just out the way. And soon as you open, once you bring your hand in from that swing, he's gonna tear your
pluck.
ass up. While you
Shut up.
while you're open, he's
That
gonna
pluck up
fuck
was
you
so
up.
serious. And you know it's not
And
fake
that's what you're
because he's
watching for.
begging
You're watching for the
and
other person to swing,
yes.
them get open, and he's and then and that 2 second opening. That's the fight. That's the action. Because in that 2 second opening, when that person drops their arms back into the guard, he's about to get your ass.
But they said that he hadn't even been practicing that. Like that was something that he,
Yeah, that's just him.
decided out of the blue. The fact that somebody is able to pivot from whatever training that they have been working on, and then at this moment, I know I need this, so I'm going to switch up. Is genius. I'm telling you. Allah was with him. I'm just saying.
No,
Yeah,
not this. And the poor brother Foreman. Let me say one thing that I liked about the documentary too is it reminded me of the era when real writers, and they have two of them in there, George Plimpton and Norman Mailer. These are heavyweights of American writing. They wrote about boxing, and for you get great, it was basically boxing and with somebody like Hemingway, bullfighting. And there's something about heavyweight boxing in particular of this era that brought all types of people together. Regular, it was just an incredible the way they wrote about a clash of the titans, all this kind of stuff. And this is another reason just why we're not going to have that moment because sports don't bring all segments of society together like it used to, because they're meaningless, and it's not some a silly argument. Oh, because now it's all about money. If you watch the documentary, it was all about money then as well. That's why they had to have it in Zaire, because nobody in America would pay the $10 million that Don King
exactly.
guaranteed without having money. Don King is a bad boy
A
and a
bad
nasty
mamma
boy.
jamma.
He
Hmm.
Yep.
guaranteed the purse and didn't have one red cent.
It's the way,
And when,
but it's the way, and he's just an example that you have regular, I would say black people or great, what I call great characters who have, some good, some bad, not, just normal people, but they'll take, Don King has done some shady shit, but
for
yeah,
sure.
they've never really like. That's what we know him for. We don't know him for his genius, for the stuff that he's pulled off. Because the
Very
motherfucker has
genius.
pulled some shit off that you I'm sorry, just no regular motherfuckers pulling off. It's just not
Yep.
happening. And
Had
nobody
that
hasn't
charisma.
and you would think Don King is just a grifter, which he, probably is. But we don't know about his genius either.
Yep.
Like how we know
Yep.
about a Gordon Gecko or somebody else that's
Yep.
like bad, but also a genius.
Yep. So the thing that doomed him, and you get it in a movie, but somebody should do a documentary on him. He was very pro-black. And remember the scene in the movie you watched the other day? I think Johnny said she watched it too. Y'all remember when he was sitting next to James Brown, was talking about payment, and remember that part? And the black artist and writer and singer and all
Hmm.
that stuff.
Hmm.
And that's why Don King is not remembered like those. Because for as mob affiliated and all that, all of them were. But he came with a set of politics that the mainstream didn't like. And
He
he
always gonna
was,
be a
I'm going to use
nigga.
some pro blacker terms, he was unabashedly Negro and unabashedly black. And so we have to minimize him for all his shady stuff. But when you talk about Frank Sinatra's shady stuff, it's just part of the legend. Old Blue Eyes. Oh, he
Yeah.
was in the mob. It was so cool. Old Blue Eye. He's from Hoboken. People love that shit with Sinatra. Love it with the Rat Pack. But with somebody like Don King, he's the shady guy with the
Yeah.
weird hair. It's because of the politics.
Mhm.
I love Don King. I don't give a fuck if he was mob connected.
Yeah, Don King did some shit that, I mean, especially at that time, a nigga pulling off. You gotta give it up.
Yeah, when he
That's
was
why I'm saying I
sitting,
always love old black people. You just gotta be around them. They be having the stories.
I like the part of the documentary where they gave like go. You had said this yesterday, and it's been a minute since I had watched the documentary. But when they showed the scene of Foreman coming down I think it was coming down the airport or coming in, arriving somewhere, and he had that German Shepherd, and they talked about what the German Shepherd meant to the people there, and I was like, now see those details, I could really get down with backgrounds like that. And then when they talked about, was it prisons or some type of detentions,
Yeah,
they
under
had
the
set up
stadium.
under the stadium, I'm
Yeah,
like, you kidding me?
yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I think it's one of the greatest documentaries ever made. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it won the Academy Award,
yeah,
deservedly so.
1996. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it came out
okay.
in 95 and won in 96. And
There was
I
one.
think how long is it, First Lady? Hour and a half or hour and 40? It
Yeah, it's like
zooms by.
147.
You
Yeah,
look up, you're like, no, it's about to end.
exactly.
No. That's
Yes.
Yeah,
how
I
good it
paused
is.
it to take a call, and when I looked to see how much left, it was like 15 minutes left, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" I felt robbed.
Bro, that's how good it is.
um, Scotty, there's this one part when George Foreman, when he's sparring with his you know, person, and he, gets hit over the eye, and they call it was this white guy, and he's laughing. Everybody else was freaking out, and he was like, "Oh, this is never going to happen." I was like, "That's Scotty." I thought of you for some strange reason, but I thought that was cute. Man, the movie was just amazing. The documentary was.
It's
Yeah,
so good, and there's so much joy in it, which is what I love about it.
Which documentary is this again?
When We Were
When we were
Kings.
kings.
Okay, thank you.
It's the Rumble in the Jungle documentary, but it really is more from Ali's perspective. Hope now, that's unfortunately he died, but now after, hope people go back and reassess Foreman's legacy because Foreman got so famous from the grill, and I'm not poo-pooing the grill, but George Foreman was also important politically in the late 60s and 70s as well in the civil rights movement. We don't think about him like that. So it'd be cool if people did this version from his perspective, because y'all watched the movie. This is clearly the centered movie, right? But it'd be cool if they did it from the other version because there's a part in there which I'd forgotten till I rewatched it when Foreman said why he didn't like the crowd saying George Foreman Bumaye. Y'all remember that part? Because Bumaye means like kill them all or kill them dead or something. It has something to do with like killing or death or something like
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah, kill him. And Foreman explained while laying down, because when you carry around that level of muscle, you have to lay down in the middle of the day because otherwise you'll explode. And this man was not a true human. Y'all know George Foreman was not actually human, right? We all know that he was like a titan.
Right.
Um, he explained why he didn't like that phrase. I thought that was actually really important as well. But all that gets lost in the Ali sauce because it's so beautifully Ali. That there's another part at the end when Ali talks to the people of Zaire, he compared them to the American Negro. Many of y'all. Anyway, they must watch the movie. Do you think? CEO, have you seen When We Were Kings? What do you think about the Rumble in the Jungle?
Hello, I missed part of you guys' conversation, but no, I haven't seen the movie. But rest in peace, George Foreman, and Don King is brilliant, and yeah, no, I missed part of the conversation. I haven't seen what
Any
documentary you're referring to.
any thoughts on the Rumble in the Jungle?
Any thoughts on it?
Yeah.
No, I just that's the whole coordination, the promotion, the politics of the era. Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts of it. I'm a fan of the whole boxing history. I don't know where to start. Yeah, no,
Okay.
where are you guys on it?
But that's okay.
I haven't seen whatever documentary, so I don't have anything substantive to add.
Has anybody seen the Netflix movie about George Foreman? Foreman?
Mm-mm. Is it good?
I haven't seen it. It's like
It,
on my list to watch, but I think I might
is it
watch it
a
this weekend.
is it
But
a doc or like a biopic?
It's a biopic.
Uh-uh.
I've seen a few on him. I haven't seen that one, but this is why I kind of like boxers. Well, at least from that era, because they all it seemed like boxers had to have like a point of view. Maybe just from that time because I don't really see it no more. But they are like you said, George Foreman. A lot of people don't know he was. I wouldn't say heavily, but he definitely had views and opinions on the civil movement and what was going on around that time. And I just think that a lot of the boxing stars or whatever or sport, they were just more dynamic than other like celebrity sports stars. I mean, I guess you got LeBron, but even LeBron is not you know
I just found I
Not too
found
much on
at the
LeBron.
time.
oh, nothing on LeBron. I love
No, I'm just
LeBron.
talking shit.
No,
Nothing at all
I
on him.
found at the time, at least in my experience, like we were my grandfather loved Muhammad Ali like so much. So anybody else that came into competition with him, we were like, oh fuck Joe Frazier, fuck George Foreman. Like we were Ali people, and like our Ali was just such a singular person that you had to get behind. Like if you were with him, you were with him 100%.
But even like Joe Lewis, like people, like a lot of black people used to be mad at Joe Lewis because they thought he was kind of like a little coony. Um, yeah, but I love
Not
boxing.
Cooney.
He, I
Just I
mean,
put a
Cooney
he
is
kind of was a
crazy.
little bit.
just I put a book in that you got to read. I read it last year. I want to say it's called The Heritage, and it traces. Let me see. This may be better.
Oh, can we order from Amazon? I need a book. I'm gonna order this now.
Yeah, order from Amazon. Black athletes in
No,
divided
we
America,
still
No?
we still banning them. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
and
gonna get it from Amazon.
the politics of patriotism, following in the footsteps of Ropes and Ali Robinson and others. Today's black athletes re-engage with social issues, and meaning of American patriotism. But what he outlines is that thing you were talking about. And the boxing, for me, I think it's true, but someone could tell me I'm wrong, maybe CEO, somebody else. There was a win with boxing because it was singular, mano y mano. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could put all of your narrative in that one boxer, and that other could put all of the narrative in that boxer. So when they fought, it was like a clash of ideologies and politics, whatever. It's hard to do that with teams because teams are compromised, different things.
Yep,
And
that's
so
true.
going back from Jack, most famously with somebody like Jack Johnson, but even a little earlier, but through Joe Lewis, the Brown Bomber, all that like
Hmm.
boxing in particular accumulated a narrative around it. Baseball did too because of the American pastime, but because people aren't into boxing and the people just box, that whole thing has been kind of emptied out. But this book traces that history. Ali is in there, Foreman a little bit. Everybody's in there, and then it talks about how that heritage went away, and he essentially blames Jordan and the basketball contracts of the '90s. Um, so it's a real good book. I recommend everybody check it out. It's a real easy read.
And then I think with I guess from inception, boxing kind of had that on his back because of the Jack Johnson thing,
Right.
and then it just kept like even with Rocky Marciano, and
Yeah.
I mean
Yep. Yep.
they always want. I guess the great hype. It was always like it was boxing, but if you are into boxing or not even not, there's another battle going on in those times, at least where I felt. I wasn't there, but it was like who's the strongest person, like the black guy or the white guy. That was the real battle. That's why they always you know that's why when you see like movies like Coming to America, you got the Jewish dude saying Rocky Marciano, like that was a real thing. And I don't know, the history that parallels itself with boxing is just really super interesting to me. Some other sports too, especially like basketball and shit, especially around the 70s and 80s. But I just love the story that comes
Larry
along with the
Larry
bar.
Bird. Larry Bird.
Okay, can I'm not a super basketball person, but Larry Bird is that nigga.
Shout out to
Um,
the Celtics.
but
Celtics all
let me
day.
let me tell you who's really that nigga. Larry Bird's sister.
Oh,
She's really the that girl. Y'all gotta go get into it. She's the baller. Like Larry good, but his sister.
Y'all don't watch women's basketball?
oh,
I just did yesterday. I
I
watch
mean,
it.
maybe a few people do, but most people don't watch women's basketball.
I'm sorry.
I would watch it as much as I would watch regular basketball. It doesn't really matter make a
They
difference to
actually
me.
had a pretty good year last year in terms of people watching the game, and I'm waiting to see what the Final Four is going to be like for
Y'all
the
know what
women's
I'm
game.
talking about. They're not watching basketball like they watch the NBA. They don't watch the
Absolutely not.
WNBA. That's why
But
they
even the
can't play.
NBA is struggling right now.
Yeah, but they're not playing. They're not playing WNBA players what they're playing NBA players because they can't because they don't have the bandwidth. They don't have enough people watching and supporting WNBA basketball. Come
They're
on, like,
supporting them now, though.
huh?
Women's basketball is more exciting than
It's
male.
getting better now. I'm just saying, just overall, they're not watching. They're not. They don't promote that as much as they do the NBA. That's just reality.
Yeah, I'm proud of women's basketball and how much it's grown over the past couple of years. Obviously, South Carolina and the young lady now in Indianapolis and all the different things that are working towards it. But I think it's evolving, and I think it'll continue to grow. I was excited to see how different commercials in the past several days during the men's championship. I've seen a lot of women uh, WNBA players on commercials. So I'm just really happy for the sport. It's obviously a younger sport. Obviously, they have a lower number of viewers, but let's look at the progress that they're making and how it's brought a whole light of respect to young girls that are wanting to play sports.
Yeah, I agree. I actually bought a WNBA pass to watch the women's league last year because I wanted to follow Chicago Sky, and it's a pretty good season. And then yesterday, I was watching it because Norfolk State University's girls, which is HBCU, they were playing Maryland, so it's like the number 13 seed playing the number 4 seed, I think, in the
Yeah.
southeast region, and it was pretty.
Hmm.
It was pretty good until the end. Did you watch it, James?
I didn't.
It was pretty good until the end. They Maryland got away at the end because the girl just got hot shooting the threes. But yeah, I try to support it when I can.
One of the problems with
You're
basketball.
muffled, James.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm all for HBCUs and sports, Johnny. It's just not against the Terps. That was too much. They could have did that again.
What? Mm.
I'm like a Terps homer halfway. I
Oh
guess that's
well,
kind of like DC's
I grew
team,
up the
kind of.
street against Norfolk State, so
No, I know. That's why I said it can be somebody else, just not the Terps.
okay, I see.
On the space, I'll add a little something to the discussion you guys had about, and I'm an HBCU grad also, so shouts out to the HBCUs. Um, to the conversation about boxing and the era, and you guys talking about the Rumble in the Jungle. I just will say that the politics and the symbolism that you all describe, obviously, that's true, but I think it also wasn't specific to the sport of boxing as it was to the scarcity of black voices
Hey
that.
everyone.
Yeah.
Is it good morning or good evening?
It's wait your turn.
But I'm saying the scarcity of black voices that were in the national conversation or in the media. So at that point, boxing was one of the only spaces where we could literally rally around, see, like the gentleman referred to, all of our hopes and dreams and ideologies, manifest in one human and watch them fight for our rights, so to speak. So, uh, there was just a limited number of people that were in those spaces that made Ali and everybody iconic. So we have so many different things in this age to celebrate some of the progress of culturally where at least black people have gone, that where we have thousands and thousands of people from news to sports to entertainment to multiple shows to clubhouse superstars that have voice. So I just think that those periods where, you know, the Muhammad Ali's of the world were spoke for so many people, and we reminisce fondly on those periods, but it's just that now we just have our voices spread out, which is really a sign of some progress if we, you know, if we really put it in context. That's my 2 cents.
I would like to nominate a girls sporting event that was epic. That I mean, it wasn't like, you know, a Rumble or Dungle, but probably the best girls sporting event I've ever witnessed. I wasn't there. I watched on TV. I think it was 2012. Um, the women's 4x100 relay when they broke the world record. Have y'all ever watched that?
Probably.
I know. So
It's something to see.
You really are a track and field boy.
hey, top of the rising to all of you, and especially you,
Yeah.
First Lady.
Hey, brother
Hey,
Ambassador Sheik.
how are you all doing this
So
morning?
the if y'all haven't seen that, you know, go check it out like right now because it's amazing. It's black excellence. Go ahead, Cheek.
Yes, sir. I heard him mention, of course, Muhammad Ali was my minister, and a lot of people did not know he was a minister. But he would smoke out like the Dick Cavett show and Merv Griffin type stuff, Donahue. I mean, just smoke him right on out, and just a great stand-up guy inside and outside of the ring. His one of his challenges was Brother George Foreman again giving condolences and the most heartfelt condolences and warm greetings for George Foreman and his family. A friend of mine, we should do radio in Houston together, and he was a great stand-up guy inside and outside of the ring. He had the George Foreman grill. A lot of people didn't get them, but I had one. I think I still got it stored somewhere. But nevertheless, a great room, a great people, great company, and the critical thinking of the day. And I think one of the rabbit holes we got trapped in the patriarchal concept from the Eurocentric value system. I think if we look closer at the matriarchal, meaning if you saw something like Raisin in the Sun, who was the thinker? It was Big Mama was the big teacher in the room, and if you carried out the soul food, had all the chaos in the family. Somebody's going, somebody's daughter, son's or husband. But when the little Jamal got himself together, he went and got Big Mama. I think we're not going back to get the Big Mama concept. And I think if we expand upon that concept, it could potentially end homelessness. I don't believe anybody's homeless. That is, certain people may be displaced, temporarily displaced. But I think the divine power left everybody a place on earth. Much like my man Muhammad Ali said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want money, a good home, and friendship in all walks of life." He exemplified that from cradle to the grave, and so I tend to live that concept. Land my plane on this one on the matriarch. So have you all explored some of the idealism of matriarch? Of the matriarch will get us to the the middle of the road. I think we've gone too far extreme on that, and it's left somebody without a house, without a car. And in the matriarchal concept, from what I've studied so far, everybody gets to eat, everybody get to go to college, everybody. You know what I mean? And ain't nobody hungry at the end of the day. Singing my. But I think with that concept, we would have a better politics, a better socialism, and a better politics from the matriarch as opposed to, say the Democrat, Republican, Independent. And very little has been produced for us, we the people. And they're pressing us down with this last high, first five at this hour. And we don't see those black jobs just yet, but who knows what the future holds, my.
Just did you know that Ali went and partied all night long? He stayed up until like the morning time after that fight. Just wanted to let you know that as well. So let me know when you watch it.
Yeah, because you know, after they fight, they be like kind of incapacitated, especially a hard fight like that. He said after that fight, he couldn't walk for 2 months.
Poor George was stumbling out of the ring. I mean, that
Mhm.
hit, that last punch that knocked him out to the ground, like he still was stumbling trying to get out of the ring. It was, I was like, whoa.
You know, you got to see when he fought. His second biggest fight was when he fought Frazier. That's a
He got knocked down several times, wasn't he?
that was a good one.
All time fights, all time.
I
Oh,
think
that
the
Ali Frazier series might be the best
I mean, that
equal
shit was
matches ever.
entertaining.
It really was. Yeah.
And then, and you know, he did it again to Frazier. Um, what show were they on? And Ali pulled up and was talking shit, but Frazier was like, you know, why you always like don't play with me, you know, like you can do that with everybody else, but don't play with me. Like I'll slap your ass on this show. And you just gotta watch it. They whole series, they went at it. I mean, like cats and dogs. The whole shit was entertaining. You didn't even. The leading up to the fight might have been more entertaining than the actual fight. Ali was one person that I just would never want to get into it with. He's never gonna leave you alone.
Guess who inherited some of his genes? A throwaway that won't go away.
Yeah, I'm just thinking probably the most iconic image in maybe I don't know all of professional sports, maybe all of boxing is when Ali knocked out Sonny Liston. Is that picture of him standing over Sonny Liston's body in the ring? That
Hmm.
was easy, probably easily the most iconic.
Yeah, all like, yeah, definitely. There's another picture that I have. Well, I had it uh painted, but I fucked it up when I was moving. I'm gonna get it redone. But it's of George Foreman and Sonny Liston. It's a dope picture.
Did Ali
Did
ever get a chance to fight him, Sonny Liston, or Sonny just said
no
no
he
and he?
no he
Yeah, yeah,
fought
yeah.
him.
They fought twice.
Oh, okay.
He fought. He
But
beat
you
him.
know, they said that Sonny was a real troubled person. But they said that I don't know how true this is, but I do think it's that's one of the conspiracy theories that I would think was entertaining. They say Sonny threw the fight because of you know, the mob paid him to throw the fight.
Mm. Well, one of the reporters
I probably
said
wouldn't buy
that
any stock in that one.
in the second round of Ali and Foreman, he was like, "Oh, Ali, okay, he threw the fight. He's throwing it because he didn't see him really fighting back, and didn't
Rope a
see
dope.
that that was part of his strategy." Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, but you know what? He did fight Liston because in the movie, I don't want to tell you it all, but that line that he goes and he starts talking about, he was like, "I'm not the same fighter I was when I fought Sonny Liston back in the day." He said, I fought lightning. I wrestled with alligators. I mean, I just love him, man. He tickles me to the
You know,
bone.
some people could credit him as like the first rapper just because of the shit they used to say.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like me.
I mean, but he had way more like raps than that he
Oh
used to
yeah,
be
no,
saying.
of course, that's a
Yeah.
must.
And
Yeah,
the float
that's
like a
And
butterfly,
he,
sting like a bee punch. I was blessed to practice that punch with Muhammad Ali. It appears that he's backing up, but he's actually stepping forward. Same principle, similar to Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk, but he's punching. It appears that he's backing up, but when he punches forward, he's hitting you with devastation in the float like a butterfly. So Muhammad Ali practiced it underwater and develop his legs. And that see, he had some of the greatest legs in boxing. Was about say 20 to 30% of his fight was his footwork, able to get out of your way, dance, and then deliver a punch, get inside, take a punch, and deliver a devastation on the inside. That was one of his skills, and uh, and we had to run a mile backwards with Muhammad Ali. That was another thing. Uphill and through the golf course, through the cemetery sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So he was the greatest athlete I've ever had the opportunity to train with. He's a brilliant man. His mind was always moving on something, thinking about others and caring for others. His brother Rahman Ali, a stand-up guy who still lives. And these guys were just in the top shape. It's a comment made by what Michael Vick, the current coach out at Norfolk State College in football. And they actually did one a devastating play, and he said, "I was in my best shape." And Muhammad Ali, one of his greatest inside tracks was the fact that he said, "I would just been another counter puncher, but my time." He was always talking about my timing. If I get my timing straight, my timing, then I'm gonna get him in the fourth. I'm gonna get him in the fifth, and a couple of times he was in the nail it right on the head. And I think one of the devastating fights with the guy, he forced him to call him name Muhammad Ali. He called him Cash. He called him Cash. He said, "I'm gonna get you, sucker." And he just went off and yeah, he was just a stand up guy, and I got so much love for him. And I think the world loves him more in death than they did in life. And that always mentioned, I went with him to the Olympic Games. He lit the torch. I land my plane, but I just had a great history with the guy, and he was my minister, and he taught me so much to always share and look out for others, and have money, good home, and a friendship in all walks of life. I'm
And this is without even talking about the whole Vietnam thing and being stripped. I mean, this guy was just incredible for so many reasons.
So did he do the whole 5 years in jail that he was sentenced to, or did he get out?
I don't think he did the whole 5 years,
He
but
didn't do any of
but
it.
when was he out? What? But when was he? How long was he
he didn't do
stripped?
no time.
He didn't
How
do
long
any
was
time.
he?
He couldn't
Okay,
fight for
2020.
his prime years though. Like
yeah,
the
Yeah,
like
they
years
took the life.
where he would have been the baddest, like the real problem.
right.
They
How many
he
years was
couldn't
that?
fight. Like it was like 3 or 5, maybe 7. I don't know.
Okay, so they just suspended him from fighting. He didn't.
Yeah,
He was gonna.
but
Okay.
the messed up part is like if he was nasty in the 30s and 40s, my God, he would have been a fucking problem. That would have been the height of his career, or it should have been at that time, but they wouldn't let him fight.
Oh, absolutely the height of his career.
But I keep telling people Muhammad Ali is, I mean, essentially just a big defensive fighter. But people say Floyd is boring, but like Muhammad Ali, it's they literally almost fight the same. It's just interesting how, something two people can do a certain thing and one. I guess because Muhammad Ali was way bigger, and so it's kind of like mesmerizing to see a man of
But
that
he's smart. He's
size move
smarter.
like that.
He
Huh?
was smarter and more charismatic.
Well,
Mayweather
yeah,
was a
outside the
goofy.
ring, but inside the ring, he
Uh,
definitely was not smarter.
I hope, I'm hoping I remember this correctly. Remember, I'm 72 years old. My mind's fading. I think he was convicted. He was. They came at him in Houston for it, and somehow, and then uh, and he got it overturned. I think the overturn came about 4 years later, maybe about 70, 71. He got it overturned. But when he got to the mic, he said that he knew, at one point he told him, "I'm not going to fight in. I'm not going to do your expedition." Remember they had the Bob Hope and the Good Hope expedition, and he said, "I'm not putting on no expedition in Vietnam. I'm not fighting in your war. I ain't doing no demonstration. None of that. I'm not participating in you." And he said the reason because you, gringo, he said, you the white man, you are my problem. And he made a strong statement that ain't no white man, you know what I'm saying, that ever went to Vietnam is the problem. He said, I went all over the world, even the Russians said, you gringo, you were my problem. He said, no Vietnamese never called me a nigger. And that statement was so strong, impactful. I think it was Lyndon Baines' time or somewhere down in there. And that statement in the influence what H. Brad Brown was saying that violence in America was as American as apple pie. With that combination, it ended it was all type protests all over against state and all over being the biggest thing. And the cities were aflame in the summertime for sure, like Temptation said. But those things ended the Vietnam War. The sentiment of the people turned against them being involved in Vietnam. Our children being killed in the war, one, but then they brought back a drug culture to some degree. When the brother standing there, he adapt for 15 minutes and, and take a hit off or something and be floating down 125th Street in New York. So all of these things combined, Muhammad Ali, that was that statement that no Vietnamese called me a nigga, and the decline and the support for the war declined, and they ended the Vietnam War. And I land my plane on facts as I know them to be, and saying, my. The answer statement, I think it got overturned eventually because
Yeah, the
of
Supreme
his, yeah,
Court.
overturned. That was the
Hmm.
important thing. And the Panther said, we none of us should be forced to fight in their wars. And we shouldn't be paying no taxes. We've been saying it for years. For what? I mean, Donald Duck and about that buck. Not yet. It was he's got to take the whole IRS and trash it because it's not doing a great benefit to we the people. And those kind of politics, you know what I'm saying? I'm still looking for them black jobs. See, Joe Biden ran on the politics of stabbing and jab. If he could get 1 million shots by July, I think he hit his quota. At least he got 50,000 body bags out of black people in record time. So
Wait, wait, Sheik, you think
Donald
50,000,
Duck
hold on,
Trump,
Sheik. You think 50,000 black people died from the COVID vaccine?
I know it's a fact. It's
How do
the,
you know that?
Donald Duck Trump was running
Hold on, Sheik.
a
How do you
press
know
conference
that?
every day on it,
Well,
and he
well, Donald Duck Trump's press conference, there was no vaccine yet. But how do you
no
know 50,000 black people died from the COVID vaccine?
just I don't know. You have to research it. My
That's what I'm
staff and I
asking you.
were
What
on the
kind of
front
research?
line during
That's what I'm asking.
the time of the COVID. I did extensive research on that COVID from
Let me talk about
if
the
I
shot. Where can I find that
the shot.
50,000 black people died from the vaccine?
Just go to look at now. My staff brought it to
Looking, I'm
me,
at my computer. Where can I
and
find it?
I went out on just put how many put 50,000. How long was it before there were 50,000
50,000
body bags? 50,000 people.
black people
That
dead
50,000.
from COVID vaccine.
Where did 50,000? Now I did 50 some of those funerals, and when I met a guy in Norfolk, I had done 28, and he said he did 55, and that was midway through it in a small township of Norfolk, Virginia.
Can't find it.
There's no claim out there for the 50,000.
Find
Keep looking.
50,000 from the vaccine.
50,000 body bags associated with COVID. Look for that. At 50,000,
Okay.
and I
Oh,
can
Philip
tell
found
you
it in the
per-
Atlantic.
personally, I remember Kevin Muhammad of Nation Islam,
Wait,
one
what
of the
is Philip
first body
doing?
bags.
One
Uh,
second, Philip. What are you
what's this other guy?
sharing in the chat?
Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Google Marvin Hagler. It might be associated with that. I think about theirs where those facts were coming out.
Wait, Marvelous
Marvelous
Marvin
Marvin
Hagler.
Hagler. And his
Oh,
son
Pure
is
Blood
still
saying vaccine injury
doing
is real. I didn't say vaccine injury isn't real. He said 50,000 people died. Injury is not death. Philip, go get putting articles like that doesn't help. It makes it seem like you agree with them and people don't click on the articles. It's-
it. Check it out.
It
But
doesn't help. But
I
where's
know
can I
we had
find about
50,000
well, one second.
casualties
Where can
with
I find about the
in a
vaccine though,
record
Sheik?
time.
Is it possible you mean 50,000 black people died from COVID, not the vaccine? Is that possible? Because what you just read, it sounds like, okay, related to COVID, related to COVID.
You found at least no,
Wait,
no.
are we back
Uh,
to
uh,
season 3 of
it's
Clubhouse right
something
now?
about 50,000 associated with black people. See,
Barely.
I remember distinctively. Donald Duck Trump did a press conference at the White Supremacy House nearly every day with little Birdie Squeak.
That
I
was
think she was the
before the
health commissioner,
vaccine.
health,
But that's
so
before
forth.
the vaccine, Brother Sheik.
Okay,
The
I'm gonna
vaccine
drop
came
this.
out after the vaccine was disseminated after Donald Duck
I'm gonna
Trump.
try to
Oh,
give you some
Biden was
history
president.
leading up to it and the facts of
Okay, good.
history on it. Um,
We were there.
and we
We
did those
know, but go
press
ahead, bro.
conferences. There was and simultaneous in Louisiana. The governor of Louisiana was conducting a press conference, and the governor in Louisiana was saying that his state was overcome by it. That it had come in from Wuhan, it went to Japan, and the first recognition was the closing of schools in Japan, Vietnam, etc. It was Greece and Holland, and it was Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. COVID, and the
Where
people
is
that had it,
Wuhan?
Netanyahu, Prince Charles, the Donald the Duck lookalike guy, Boris Johnson, the prime minister, damn near died. I think it took the Queen, but nevertheless, as it came into the United States through the back door, from what I understood, that it hit California, it didn't hit Washington State. We're always talking about the, the nursing homes and this and that of Washington State and California was affected.
Oh,
California came back or black to the mic and said they had seriously underestimated the amount of casualties and so forth. They think I think they gave you a number, some weird number, but it's well beyond that. As a matter of fact, it doubled that number in California from the original estimate. I won't give you an exact number, but that number is out there, and you can get it if you research.
So
But
next
it hit
time I get ready to
Louisiana.
say some something outlandish, I'm gonna just say I'm old. So
Okay,
y'all better.
let me finish my statement, please, because
Please
when it
no.
hit Louisiana, there you go, during the Mardi
This is
Gras,
just
it nearly wiped out the state.
false
And sir,
information.
I never talk while you
This
spoke.
is yeah,
Okay,
but you
I
be
don't.
making up
But
stuff.
no, this is
You
real
just be
shit.
saying stuff. It's not.
It's real shit.
It's not.
Louisiana nearly got wiped out. I'm telling you.
It's
Some
not, sir.
Smithfield hams and some more stuff.
You just can't be
And
doing this.
Manhattan
This
almost got
doesn't
taken.
help. This
And the
doesn't
way it was
help.
traveling through the
You just
swine was a
making up
similar.
stuff. Why are
You
you
are
doing
lying.
that? Why are you doing
I've done
this?
actual research. I have the stacks on my desk,
Why are
sir.
you doing this? You couldn't go to
Why
stats
you
when he
challenge
asked
what I'm
for
saying
them.
while I'm talking? You can at least let
Because
me
I just
land.
don't. Yeah,
But
because
that's
but
very
it's
disrespectful, sir,
lies.
especially
Okay, yeah,
during the
but
Mardi
it's
Gras.
disrespectful when you lie to. You do a lot of lying,
Okay,
sheep,
okay,
and
okay.
it's annoying. I know you use the guise of being an elder and all of that stuff, so people will
That's
let you. But
bullshit. You
you
know
make up
it.
a lot of
You bullshit yourself in the
lies,
day, G.
bro.
Why would I bullshit you? I
But
wouldn't even stop
I
to
Mr.
don't
talk
know
Sheik,
about
why
it,
you
sir.
do this. I don't know why you
hold
do
on,
this,
real
sheep, but
quick.
you
No,
gotta
you
stop.
Mr.
claim that,
Sheik,
but I've never done that, sir.
but Mr. Sheik, we can't talk about COVID vaccination deaths, especially where you at, where I'm at, when we know that 3/4 of all the people who died in DC from COVID were black people, and we know that black wards 7 and 8 were so under vaccinated. They were not receiving access to vaccinations at the same rate as the other wards in DC. So it's dangerous to say that the vaccination was killing black people when we know firsthand that it wasn't. The people that were dying from COVID were not vaccinated, and the people that were living were. So like I don't know why we talking about the jab killed us. Like that's not what was going on.
Maybe if you interpret that, I've never said that. The
That's what we was
vaccine
talking about.
itself was just a vaccine. The problem was the disease. And I used to take the budget from the Centers of Disease Control to the government counting office. I know well what I'm saying, and I'm well researched in what I'm saying. And I wouldn't tell you that without it being a fact. No, we don't even know what. How in the fuck are you gonna have a vaccine if you don't even know what the fuck it is? They never determined exactly what it was.
They did, Sheik.
They
I can
do.
tell
Okay,
you.
what
Hold
is it?
on,
Tell me
Sheik.
what exactly what it
Okay,
is.
hold on. Sure, I'll tell you right now. I mean, this is insane. Moderna, we'll do Moderna. Vaccine, COVID ingredients. Okay, this was from the FDA. I'll put this in the chat. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is because I'm not a scientist.
Now you're
But
being honest, just like I
hold on,
said.
hold on, hold on. I'm about to tell you what it
You
is.
really
You don't
don't
know
know
what
what
it
it is.
is either. So it's
So
got
why would you say
lipids,
something if you don't know
2
what it is?
polyethylene glycol 2000 NN tetracadecolitamide, cholesterol, potassium chloride. I mean, I know what this stuff is generally. Sucrose, dibasic sodium phosphate dihydrate, monobasic potassium phosphate, 4-hydroxybutyl azanidyl bishexane 6,1-DIYL bis 2 hexolidiconate. I mean, that's in the Pfizer, and the Moderna has similar stuff, but they also seem to have acetic acid. Here, I'll put it in the chat. And this is not just the COVID vaccine. This is like all the vaccines. They have all types of stuff that I don't know what's in them. I mean, do you know what that means, Cheek? Like,
And
say, take
what
like
exactly is
the
that
polio
supposed to
vaccine.
treat? What exactly is it supposed to treat?
Well, my understanding. I mean, how does the COVID vaccine work? Is that what you're asking?
No, sir, I'm not asking what is it supposed
It's
to
not
treat.
supposed to treat anything. It's a vaccine. It's not a treatment, Cheek. What do
What
you
is
mean?
it
What's it supposed to
supposed to
treat?
do, sir? If that's
It's
a better
supposed it
word.
teaches your body to quote recognize and fight viruses that cause COVID-19. They do this by introducing a weakened or inactive form of the virus or a piece of its genetic code into the body. The genetic code part is the mRNA, if I recall, and the former of the weakened or inactive was the Johnson and Johnson one, which is the way they did traditional vaccines. So it's not a treatment,
Now, no,
Sheik.
sir,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
If they don't know precisely and exactly what COVID-19 is, how can you have
They
an
do know what it
antidote?
is,
And
sir.
Not
They know.
just they do
what
know
is
precise.
COVID?
It's a coronavirus, Sheik.
Particular Lysol said it prevents a COVID, uh,
That's not the same
COVID.
strand.
Well, you
So
guys,
viruses
you
have
So
guys.
listen
different
here.
strands,
So
and they
now,
Oh
now
my
you have the
and they're
picture. Now you have the
zoonotical.
full picture.
But you don't want to
Cross
listen. You don't want to
contamination.
listen.
Pick a
Stop
mod
asking questions, and you
and
don't
cross
want to fucking
contaminate that
listen.
with a
You're
vice
not a
inside.
scientist.
I'm
What
enough
is your?
science
No,
to
you're not.
explain
No,
the
you're
cross
not.
contamination of all that bacteria
Cross
that
contamination does not have anything to do with this. We are not talking about
it
food
has nearly
services. This is
everything to
not
do with.
cross contamination. Y'all anti-science people are really annoying.
Okay, okay,
Right, yeah, yeah, because you're saying a whole bunch of bullshit. And
right.
the thing is you be spreading when you're not on here. I know you be telling randoms this shit. And it's just like,
I think you're
bro,
gonna beat me at that bullshit, and I'm assure you of that.
bro, shut the fuck
But
up. You've been doing this for 150 years, bro. Like I
well,
just talking, just
you know with
lying,
your bullshit.
just running
I know
around
you're gonna get
lying,
off point.
just
It
running
ain't
around
personal. Let's
lying.
do that. It ain't personal. It really ain't.
It's
It
not.
really ain't.
It's not because I
So
know a
why you
lot of
poking
people.
at
I
me
know a
about
lot
this
of. I'm not
and
poking
telling me
at
I'm a
you. I'm being
bullshitter,
honest with you. And
and I'm
every
being
time,
honest
and
with
when
you?
people be honest with you, because you're so used to being able to bullshit and
You
say
don't know
whatever
a
you want to
damn
say
thing
to
about
people,
me at all to
I
say that.
do. I
You
do.
don't. You
I
really
do.
don't.
And
You don't.
so
You
when
really don't.
someone corrects you or says that's bull, it seems like it's disrespectful. No, I'm just telling you, and what you're doing is bullshit, and it's been detrimental to your
Well,
community.
I'm telling you. that you cannot critique me on that level because you
I'm
don't know
sure.
enough to say that. You don't know enough
I
to
can
say that.
listen to what you said
But
in
anyhow,
here.
as we progress on, the moderate
We're
device
not
to chat.
progressing
If you
on.
go in
We're
for
not, and
two
you're. And
doses,
guess what? You're not gonna do. You're not gonna come in here and just ramble, ramble, ramble. Now you've done that
well,
enough,
you the
but you're not
biggest
gonna do
rambler
that.
on the internet. Come on. But
No,
anyhow, if you
but
cross
bruh, we
contaminate,
don't want to hear your pseudoscience, fam. Come on now, you got to let somebody else talk.
you keeping it personal. The first lady makes me a moderator, and you try to attack
I ain't
me
did.
in
I
here.
never did shit
Yeah,
to you.
you attack, play with my mic,
I just
all
want
that
you to shut
crazy.
up.
But sometimes I want you to shut up.
I'm not talking. I'm letting you rock. But just like stop lying. You just making up stuff, bro. Like they don't know what COVID is. Yes, we do. They do. They've known for what it is for a long time. You're just saying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have information on. And it's sad because there are so many little yous that are running around just like you, running around just saying stuff. And this is what type of trail you create when you get to be 70 doing this shit. It sadly is.
Telling you the shit ain't personal, bro. Now
It's not personal. I just told you
I
that there are
tracked
a lot of other
the
yous.
thing that they call COVID-19, and COVID 1 through 18 is what you had before, and this same
No.
experimentation,
Shake, hold on, Shake.
whether it's the
One
bubonic
19. Hold on,
plague,
Shake.
which
Shake.
I've researched
19.
this
Shake.
stuff.
Shake. Hold on. 19 doesn't come from 1 through 18. They use that because
I'm
that
just
was the
making a
year.
cliche.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
just
oh,
making
okay. I'm
humor,
sorry.
really.
Okay, I
I'm
apologize.
COVID 1 through 18. I just made some humor, but the COVID-19 itself was tracked out of Wuhan, China. I will explain to you clearly and in detail where my research is and what I'm saying to you. The wet market, some have tracked it to call it the wet market, is the cross contamination of animals, and one of them is uh, the Pangolin. The Pangolin, you have to research what I'm telling you, but I've done it detailed research on what I'm telling you. And the Pangolian is one of the beasts that's cross contaminated. In California, you have what they call a swap meet. It's a big flea market in parts of China, especially Wuhan. The wet market and the black market meat comes from the wet market. You can get chickens. You'll see goddamn porcupine, raccoons, all of that, and research. You'll see it. And from that, the juice when you ask, I want this chicken, and you could even get a dog off. He'll kill a dog for you, and the juice from the dog will hit the chicken. The chicken will hit the raccoon or something on that order. But the porcupine juice gets on the chicken, and now you have a new colony of bacteria. That is scientific fact. But the two bacteria will colonize and produce a new phenomenon. And that new phenomenon could touch your skin or get in your mouth or get in your
You
eyeballs.
see how you just
And
saying
you
this
and
stuff?
it will escalate you
You're
to
just
death.
saying stuff,
Sir,
sir.
this
This
is
is not.
scientific
This is
fact,
this
sir.
is
No, no,
It
he
will
dangerous.
cooking
escalate
though.
you
This is
to
really
death.
dangerous.
A new bacteria get in your system, Jess,
No, he's not
and you
cooking.
will cut off your respiratory, sir.
Y'all just
Stop your
let.
respiratory from functioning.
This
And
is
your
this is
pre-existing health
exactly
Listen,
why we
condition.
be in the. Y'all don't.
Again,
Y'all
sir, I'm
y'all
speaking.
too
I'll
respectful.
land and let you talk. But your pre-existing
No, you're
health
not. You're not
condition
gonna land and let me
is what
talk. You've been saying that for an hour.
okay, but
You're not gonna
anyhow,
do
the,
that.
the pre-existing health condition is if that bacteria is in your system, your respiratory will
That's
cease to
not,
function
sir. I
properly.
can
I'll
explain to
stop
you
right
what you're
there,
taught,
but I can
what you're
go for
trying
about an
to say,
hour
but this is
and get you up
this
to
is
date on your
incorrect.
COVID,
This
sir.
is not. This is
Straight
just
up.
incorrect, sir. It has nothing to do with the blood. It does. It's not. This doesn't travel by blood, sir. So you talking about somebody a kill a dog and then the blood get on the raccoon, and that's not how it works at all. And people don't want to tell you to be quiet because you're an elder, but I do. And I'm so sorry because this is why we lost now. We let people just say you have no
Th-
scientific
This
training. You have,
this testimony is
you
fact
may
from
have all the experience in the world, but you ain't touched a science book.
okay.
And you
Well,
are
let me
sitting
explain
here
this to
trying
you.
to
the
us and
science.
Dr.
trying to
Anthony
explain to
Fauci,
us
Anthony
how
Fauci
transmission
lasted through
of deadly
three
virus works.
three
Transmission of
presidents.
deadly virus. And people are
Listen,
sitting here listening to you
listen.
and you're wrong. You will get somebody killed.
I'm telling. Well, I'm
No,
telling you
no,
straight up,
no.
the Anthony
No,
Fauci
yes,
No.
Master
yes,
Decree,
yes.
he said we
That's
must
exactly was
stop the wet
misinformation
market in the
about
middle
shit
of the.
like this gets motherfuckers
You,
killed. What do you mean?
But
No,
listen,
no, no. Y'all let
Anthony
shit slide.
Fauci
That's
just
half the
had
but
the
reason why we
monkeypox,
had
sir.
the deaths that we in COVID because of misinformation, people getting on TV with no scientific background, just saying whatever.
That has
And
but
that's
nothing to do with
exactly what's
anything we're
going on
talking about this
now.
morning, sir. That has
nah, we all
absolutely
on the
nothing
same
to
side.
do with
Unpacking
the
it. We
scientific
unpacking
fact
it.
that the
We're
wet
not
market.
unpacking anything, and you need to get somewhere where you have better reception.
My bad.
Low
I'm
ass
on the car
volume.
phone. My bad.
Okay,
Okay,
now
well,
the
wait till you
wet
get in the
market
house.
again. Anthony
Y'all fucking
Fauci,
annoying
from
with
the
this dumb
Centers of
shit.
Disease
Shut,
Control,
yo, my nigga.
said
This is not
that
Why
we
is
right.
have
it
to
too
stop
early? This
the
asking
All
wet
right,
questions
well,
so
shut the
much
market.
for the
fuck up
super
then.
president,
It's too
huh?
early for you to be talking on that fucking low ass phone. Shut the fuck up, stupid ass. Y'all just love dumb shit. This is the shit that's irritating to me. This fucking misinformation that just be, that people just be saying, and then you got no. It's not funny, bitch. You laughing while you driving, talking about it's too early. It's too early to be lying. If you don't know, just say you don't know. But saying dogs getting killed at a wet market and blood getting on a raccoon and then it gets on your skin, that's a whole fucking lie.
I
That
get
is
what
a
you mean.
whole lie. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
whole
some
witch's
Noah's Ark
tale
shit.
that's made up.
If you
And y'all
continue to
and that's
research,
what's just being spread. Like,
and
come
if you
on, son.
continue to
That's
research
crazy.
and follow the Pangolian is the black
The
market meat.
Pangolian.
I'm standing here telling
The
you, just at the research.
Pangolian.
The
He
Wait,
said the
Pangolian. Go
Pangolian.
ask
brother
the
Sheik, you
Pangolian.
don't believe
A
It's in their
Pandolin.
medicine.
it
It's in the
wasn't made in
Chinese
a lab,
medicine.
brother Sheik? You don't think it was made in a lab? It was made in a lab. They confirmed that.
Who confirmed it?
Oh Lord Jesus Christ. I am a science
Mainstream media.
nerd. I'm just
In,
go ahead and lean into that
in
because this
Wuhan, China,
anti-science is just this is crazy. Do y'all know how like it's spread by particles, by saliva and particles like y'all, what is blood like? Please explain the blood, how blood got into this.
there's a part itself, and it actually gives you the so-called
No, it
disease
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
because
It uses
you really
mRNA.
don't know
So
what
it
you're saying.
doesn't.
You know
It
what it is,
doesn't.
and I
It
know you don't
doesn't.
know what it is. I
No,
know
you
you don't know.
don't. That's not how the vaccine works.
So how are you going to give out a vaccine if you don't know what it is?
They
You don't know
do, you stupid
what you're taking.
motherfucker.
It's not true. Many people turn to zombies after taking the
Bitch, where the
vaccine.
zombies at with your dumb ass?
Plenty of zombies. I see them all
Where the
over.
fucking zombies at? I'm so
Right
sick
on the
of you
beach of
dumb
D.C. right now.
motherfuckers.
You can walk out there, see one or two zombies from taking the goddamn vaccine.
You the
Straight up.
zombie. Did you take it? Cause
Well,
you cause you the one who's acting like
now
a
you
fucking
really know what you're
zombie.
talking about. And I'm
Crackhead
talking to
ass.
you straight too. You flipping and tripping, and I'm
Yeah,
talking to
because
you
you dumb and
straight.
you're what's wrong
I
with the
feel totally
community.
insulted for you to suggest
Dumbass
that
old
I'm dumb.
elders just you are.
Okay,
You
let me
are
explain this.
dumb.
Let me
Everything you have
explain why
said today has been
I'm not
stupid.
dumb.
And people
Because
have just been letting you around people and they just
I have
letting you run
10
around and
members
say
of
this
my
shit.
staff that are
Nigga, you
smart.
said the
So
pangolin.
I
What
don't
is a
have to be that
pangolin?
smart. Just go ahead and research it. You got to take your time to find out. But on that
He
strength,
This
said
is annoying.
the
Pangolian.
the judge that walked off of that floor, Congressman Al Green, spoke at my son's graduation.
I
My
don't give
son
a shit.
is magna cum laude, specifically from my training, and I have two cum laude daughters and another son that just graduated with honors. And
What the fuck
I have
does this
31
have to do with
grandchildren
what we're
with
talking
honors.
about?
If you call me a dummy again, that's not true. And I would
Well,
like you
well,
to
okay,
stop
then just
lying.
stop saying
I'd
stuff you
like
don't
you to
know.
stop lying, sir. I would appeal to you to stop lying.
Okay. Well, I appeal the same to you.
And don't be insulting because it's unnecessary to make your point.
It's not unnecessary. It's actually very necessary. Because
Well, if you do it, if I
because
smoke
if
you
you
out,
don't
don't get
shake the
mad.
room how you're shaking the room, then
Smoke.
people will listen to you,
Well,
and
smoke.
you're
Well, I say
dangerous.
Muhammad Ali was my
So I
manager
would rather
and
somebody think
my
I'm
minister. So
rude and
what do you
disrespectful and
expect?
live
If the subject is talking
and
about Muhammad
somebody not
Ali
get killed by
and that's my
your
minister, what
stupid
do you expect?
information.
You expect to go toe to toe to me and
I
get
expect
knocked
you to
out,
shut up.
or
You
what?
gotta chill. You got to chill.
You need to chill. You're too flamboyant. You're too flaming.
No, now I'm too flaming. And you too stupid. You old bitch.
Well, see now, there you go with your expletives unnecessarily.
Fuck you,
You're
hoe.
unnecessary.
Fuck you,
You ain't
fuck you.
no, you're
Now I'm
not
gonna be
able, you're
disrespectful
not
to your
able
dumb
minded,
ass,
and you're not able bodied. Why
bitch.
would
You
you
ain't
do
never
it?
been able
Why?
bodied.
This
You
is the
been
wrong
dumb. You been a
forum.
dumb bitch. You ugly
Well, check me in
motherfucker.
another room or check me toe to toe. Either
Bitch,
way, but
I'll definitely check you toe
you
to
too
toe.
flaming, too
All right,
flamboyant.
bitch. I'll
And
beat
if
the
you
shit out
call me a
you.
bitch, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble here.
I will beat the shit out of you.
Stay off my
What
testicles.
happened? What happened? I beat the shit out
Stay
of
off my
you. I
dick
beat the
too,
shit out of your
because you ain't
daughter.
right.
I beat the shit out of your ugly ass
Stay,
son.
you gonna
And
be
I
you
beat the
would
shit out your old ass. You
you
disrespect me.
fine
This is
bitch.
my rule from now on. You
You
can
go to the
call me a
biggest
faggot,
Labrador.
and I'm gonna disrespect
I
your whole fucking family
well,
lineage,
I train
bitch.
urban gorilla fighters. You really
Girl,
don't want
fuck
that.
you. You are
You
an
really
urban
don't.
gorilla,
Well,
bitch. That's what the fuck you are.
you
A
emotionally you on
fucking
your period
monkey.
too, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, get on.
girl. You dumb
You
bitch.
well, you flaming
You
hoe.
dumb bitch. Talking about you hung
You
out with
too
Muhammad
flamboyant
Ali.
for what?
Shut your
I
lying
told
ass,
you
senile
the
ass up,
expletive was
bitch.
unnecessary,
Fuck
but
you.
you got to
Fuck
call
you,
me a
you
bitch.
old bitch.
You ain't able minded. You ain't
Fuck
able
you, hoe.
bodied. You're not
Fuck you,
able.
you dusty
You
oldie
just
old
ain't able,
bitch.
son.
Girl, go
Your
die.
mind is willing, your flesh is weak,
But
son.
girl, go die. How about that?
Well,
Die
that's just
slow.
wasted.
That's
You
what you
waste a
do.
lot of energy on other
Suck my dick,
defense.
bitch. You
You
can
go to
suck my
gutter
dick
because
and soak in your daughter,
you got
hoe.
no other defense
Fuck you, you
except
old
gutter.
fake ass panther, bitch.
You're a
You sit
gutter
up here and lie
asshole.
all the time, bitch. I
You're
checked your record a
straight
long
gutter.
time ago. You ain't touched a
You're
panther
straight
or a
gutter.
motherfucking NOI,
You
bitch.
straight gutter.
And I slap the shit out of you and
Oh,
your
straight gutter.
and the FOI,
You don't even make
bitch.
a gutter.
Fuck you.
You ain't even real. In fact,
You're
Trump
dumb,
even booted
bitch.
your ass out.
Yeah, girl.
All you can catch is the toe off my boot, sir.
Yeah,
Straight up.
girl. You
Yeah,
doing
well.
bad,
When you
girl.
when you
Go,
reach to do all that
nurse.
boxing fighting,
Go,
make
go,
sure
go,
you
go
draw
get
back
your night
up because
nurse,
that's what you're
bitch.
gonna have.
Get your night nurse,
You
bitch.
reach your little leprechaun paws over that feet,
Mm.
you gonna draw
Girl,
back
shut
enough.
up. I'll
I'll
slap
give you
your
an
son.
insurance
I
policy.
don't slap old people. I'll slap
Well,
your
I'm just
son. Beat the brakes off him.
I'm gonna give you an insurance policy, sir, and send
Girl,
you
shut
straight
don't
and
scare me,
necessary.
bitch. You a dummy, don't scare me.
I did
You
not
do,
come here to
bitch.
scare you, sir.
You
I
can't
didn't come
put
here to
two and
scare
two
you.
together, girl. So you don't
Come to
scare me,
rock the
hoe.
mic, cause that's
You
what I
don't
do.
scare hoe. So are you
Yeah.
done spreading your
Well,
dumb
what
shit?
you?
You old bitch.
All,
You
all that
old
gay shit,
fuck.
man. You miss me with the
Are you
gay shit,
dumb?
okay?
You
And
old
let's go ahead and
fuck.
talk, man.
You old fuck. Are you
I'm gonna
done?
yield the mic to some
You
people, some
done? You
intelligent.
all fuck? You
Why don't
better
you
yield.
yield
You
it to
old
those
shit.
intelligent
You
hosts,
old ass
like
bitch.
First Lady? I yield to First Lady,
Yeah, yeah,
and just
yeah. Fuck you,
miss me
dirty
with the
ass old
bullshit, okay?
man. Yeah, bitch, you are bullshit. You monkey. I hate you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. That you have a perfect right to do so, sir.
And I
But I
do.
just don't
And
give
I
a
do
damn
full
about.
fledged with my
I
heart.
don't give a damn
I
about you.
know you don't give a
You
damn
some
about
dog.
black people, bitch. You too
You
busy
worse than
sucking
dog
Snoop
dung.
Dogg dick.
You look like roadkill.
You too busy sucking Snoop
You look
Dogg
just
dick.
like roadkill,
It's
like a
sad to be an
foe.
old ass
Look like
coon
roadkill. Been found on the
sucking
road
another
dead
old
somewhere.
coon's dick.
Got the
Bitch.
wrong
You don't
tree.
stand for shit,
You
bitch. You
go.
don't scare me, bitch. You couldn't change the world all them years because you was too busy sucking other old men's dick. You fucking punk. You don't even stand on business. You can't even talk to me, bitch. Fuck you mean? I'm blacker and I stand on more business than you and all them pussies you hang around ever will, ho. Fuck with it, faggot. And whoever want to call me disrespectful, yes, I'm going to be disrespectful to anybody that disrespects me. You can be 100 or you can be 10. Or you can be 110 like this old fucking bitch. And I'm going to disrespect him. Now, Sheik, every time I see you, I'm going to press your old dusty ass. Hopefully you'll have a heart attack one of these times. Bitch, you could die fucking with me. Y'all think I don't give a fuck about an elder? Y'all let these motherfuckers say whatever fuck they want to say to you. I'm not with it. You could die, old man. Fuck you and everything you stand for and everything you done while you been on this earth. Fuck you.
I mean, COVID misinformation is very, very dangerous. Like we just can't play with that, especially because we were the ones that were disproportionately affected. Um, that's why at the beginning of this discussion, I was asking, like, you know, were they talking about COVID deaths or a COVID vaccine deaths? Because we know, there's a lot of mythology around the COVID vaccine. But when it comes to COVID deaths, I mean, we were the ones disproportionately affected. Certainly, Black folks, Latinos, and Asians, but Black people were at the top. So, we just, like, COVID misinformation is a terrible thing. It's really bad.
And to all the respect, the respecters in the comments, I want y'all to understand this, and I want y'all to. I don't give a fuck about none of that y'all are talking about. That disrespecting elders has consequences or whatever. The elders shouldn't have disrespected me. I'm 42 years old. I've done way too much in my life to be disrespected by any other adult. If y'all want to let people well, first off, y'all don't deal with that because y'all don't have to get called fag and all of this other and soft and all of this other shit that people think. So y'all don't deal with that. So I don't give a fuck. Keep it to yourself. And if I see somebody else say something about it, I'm gonna disrespect you. That's how the fuck I'm feeling. Y'all really be acting like somebody give a fuck about what y'all think in these fucking comments. Bitch, I get real reckless and read all y'all bitch. I don't give a fuck. And that's on the really real. So, grandma, auntie, niece, cousin, baby daddy, mama, whoever, soul survivor, fuck all y'all. If you don't like what I said, fuck you too. For real.
And just, I don't want to interrupt your read, but just to partly bring
I'm
the
done.
down a little bit, some of the people, and I don't even see all the comments, but some of the people in the comments, y'all are saying that because you agree, with Shake, and that is disrespectful. The elders also have to respect the youth, and any elder worth its salt, worth their salt, um, has always respected the youth or been intergenerational. So y'all can't like shout out Ella Baker on the one hand and then, applaud an elder dismissing somebody, with homophobia on the other hand. It just don't work. We got to do better.
Be the underlying shit. When you dealt with this for years and years, like I already knew the a homophobic comment was coming. That's why I never liked the man. You can tell when someone is okay with you, or they're waiting for a moment to say something about you. So that was not surprising to me. But that's why I react. And a lot of you hear the venom on a lot of these gay people's songs is because we deal with this shit. Like people come in here and say the wildest shit to us just on GP. And Otis may not act like this. That may not be their reaction. They can have their own reaction. But the disrespect from here on out, I'm gonna show y'all how to disrespect the bitch. Cause I've let a lot of stuff slide. I let a lot of stuff, but all this gay and HIV talk, y'all hit me with that. I'm gonna get very disrespectful. Very, very, very. So, may the best man win. Since y'all think that this type of disrespect, you could say whatever you want to say degrading to me, then I'm gonna show y'all how to be disrespectful. Maybe I could take some points, some notes or whatever, but I'm gonna show you how to disrespect somebody because I've been disrespected enough.
Hey, just 10, who did the AIDS talk this time?
Oh, I mean, no, I was just referring to yesterday. The
Oh, okay.
with Al.
All
But
right.
like the whole you're too soft, you're too flamboyant, and there we have it. So good, and I just I just encourage, just say that first, and we can get right to it. And Omar, I see you in the comments too, girl. You know you're not a verbal match for me. You should chill, cause I have a lot of jokes for you.
And good morning, everybody. I didn't get a chance to say good morning, but good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Goddess.
Is that really you, Scotty? I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Yes, it's in my non-Domingo voice. Yeah.